Welcome back to Kart Chasers coverage of the Stars Championship Series, King of the Castle, and it's fitting. It's the final day of May, and we're bumping, baby. It's time for the KA Stars B pre-final. We're going to take 10 drivers, the top 10, to the A. Boy, oh boy, Justin, it's going to be entertaining.
Yes, it is, and we have some good drivers that are in the mix here that are all getting set to go. Some we haven't had too much conversations of yet that are looking to make a loud appearance heading into the final. Others just looking to bounce back after what's been some rough racing for them in some circumstances. You have a lot of people in the conversation that are ready to start things on amongst this B pre-final grid here today. Let's take a look at that grid. Juan Jose Paramo starts on the pole of it, just outside the cut line to make it. Mason Ward, quiet weekend so far, is in second. Then you have one of the Timmy Techs and Joseph Messi, though, start in third. You have Santi Duran down in fourth. Maggie Webster and Mill amongst the top six. Down over to the back of the grid, where you'll have a notable of Alex Cuzio back there. JP Roush had some issues during the practice, as well Simpson, Deegan, Feldstein, even Gonzalez, of course, at 11. But the drivers we didn't mention there include drivers like Andrew Hamill that are going to be down in 6th. David Baker in 8th. Some drivers that have been up and down all weekend looking to try and prove they can make the final.
Yeah, Alex Feldstein started shotgun on the field, got a 10-place penalty for a lost component, so he's starting from the back, but that is not where he was as far as the on-track action goes. Into the tram lines, getting ready to start the B pre-final. For 10 drivers, they'll move on. For the rest, well, we're packing up and going home. Green flag is out, going to turn number 1. Good start there by Paramo. Looks like he's going to get the jump and get away. One driver off. It's one of the Orsilones.
That would be Paramo possibly with that situation. That was one of the Orsilones. In fact, one of the few drivers in that would be Ethan Gonzalez. Speaking of contact, they're getting argy-bargy with it. More slamming with Isabel Simpson getting bounced around to the back of the field as everyone else tries to sort themselves out. Chaotic start for a couple of the karts, and they're all trying to stack up behind Mason Ward, who does not seem to have the same straight line compared to Paramo at the front of the field. That was Gonzalez. That was off to start. That was a top 10 starter.
Yeah, Mason Ward, Joseph Nastasi here fighting. These are the safe spots. We'll peek back to the top 10, around the 10th position. These guys up in the front, it's just hold position, keep it to the end, we'll make it to the A. You see there's one of the DPC machines there. We have the Kart Republic across the line. It's the 995 of Wyatt Dagan holding on to the transfer. Swayze Feldstein making another move to the inside. That's 2 more spots. He came across the line that last lap in 12th. I believe those 2 positions gained might put him in the transfers. 2 karts in the shark fin are around.
Because amongst those involved going around, the 989 still trying to get it going, was in the transfer before the contact. Not anymore with the shark fin. See them pulling, choo choo choo. What's that usually the signal for, Kyle?
You tell me, Justin.
I believe that would be something with the chain possibly, but that is rough. Takes them out of the transfer and out of contention as a result, and the bubble moves around even more. McCown is now amongst those in the thick of it as the 995 rides in front.
The 2 drivers involved there who were in the transfer spots. It's going to be interesting to see who now falls onto the bubble. You'll see on the left-hand side on the ticker the red line. That will indicate who's in and who is out. So you see, we're now looking at Wyatt Dagan in the 995, the Magic Kart machine. I believe he's going to be safe by 2 spots now. We'll see as we cross the line. No, he's fallen back, and he's now out of the transfer. That is the 10th position, as he's going to fall again. Contact. That was the 906 of Simpson. Isabella Simpson now moving up into that 11th spot. And another move. You want to be careful here. You don't want to let the bubble spot get away. Still battling as the 959 now of Roush will move up to try and make their bid.
That JPR machine looking to move ahead. One of those that looks to cut ahead. We do have a review for an incident, it looks like, that may be underway. That's something to keep an eye on for post-race, for who moves on to the final and who's going to be watching the grandstands with some of the fans in the stands, to say the very least. Right now, though, with 3 minutes to work with, it looks secure for those at the front of the field. You just have to keep it clean if you want to make the field. The bubble is going to be still hotly contested, you think. Some of the drivers like Simpson's on the push. In particular right now, you have to find something, anything, to gather up. They're running 112s at the moment across the field for reference, with McCown on the bubble. Right now, Simpson within drafting distance is trying as hard as they might to keep up.
Looking at Isabella Simpson, the gap last time by was just 0.7 of a second. Isabella Simpson in the 906 Xpree, a privateer entry, now hunting down Hunter McCown. It's gonna be interesting here with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps. How patient do you be? Or you just go all or nothing as quickly as you can?
Keep in mind, Simpson in their case does have experience running here. Once the club races in KRA competition. We made one of the appearances so far this season in a couple different classes with some middle of the pack runs. Has also ran a fair bit overall at the track. Spot appearances. Simpson today would really like to at least make a national start appearance inside the final at the very least, and prove they can be able to race against the big drivers. Here comes Isabella to the inside for the bubble. Alongside McCown, taking away the 10th spot. So Simpson is now inside the transfers with just over 90 seconds to work with.
It's going to be interesting to see now if Isabella Simpson can start tracking down Ethan Gonzalez in the 9th position, and if that'll bring Hunter McCown back into the fight for the bubble spot. We saw that last lap. Joseph Nastasi, who was fighting up in the top 5, fell back to 8th position. It looks like these two drivers fighting on the bubble in 10th and 11th are starting to pick it up and catch that group in front of them. You see another incident is under review.
Yeah, so a lot of archiness is going to shuffle where the official cut line looks to be here. But right now, the unofficial bubble is still hotly contested. Right now, about a minute or so to work with here in this one. Keep in mind, count in terms of those on the chase, nobody runs club races at tracks like Kart Moto and in Texas in particular. Making the appearance here today and this weekend here in Indiana. Looking to do well here in this national race appearance. Into the grass just about with the left side tires. Nearly missed the braking zone with such a slide, still held onto it.
Isabella Simpson was a 10th better than the cart in front of her last time by. As you see, Nastasi now got past. He's falling back into the clutches. It's going to be a battle now of if Hunter McCown will make a move and get around Isabella Simpson, or will both of them catch up to Nastasi in the 900.
I think that's a lot of people's mindsets here, Stu. And still, if you get to at least Nastasi or Gonzalez here, you get the chance as a result to have a little bit less pressure on you, if you will. A little less to think about in the conversation. It helps definitely on the mindset with the 900 just in front, though, to say you might be able to at least get away from the bubble, secure an extra spot, go from there. But the clock has reached zeros. We're coming up to 2 laps to go. And right now, that magic cart is going the wrong way in the 904. They are losing pace. Last time was 0.4 off the mark. This time by was another half a second off the mark of Simpson.
And not what Hunter McCown wants. I think at this point with 2 laps to go, you're looking for mistakes. You're looking for anything that you can get. And if you're Isabella Simpson, you know, you have a chance up ahead of you to kind of give yourself that buffer, give yourself a little bit of an opportunity. But at the same time, you don't want to battle too much and put Hunter McCown back into this thing. It might be holding strong to the end here.
You know what, it takes is one mistake, though, to close back up right. And right now, it's still within a second. The gap was, at the very least, last scoring loop. Baramo, by the way, is still controlling the race lead and has it by a sizable gap, although Emil is now free to gain a lot of ground, has picked up about a tenth or two a lap the past couple laps. Ward still holding on to third, Webster in the top four, Feldstein followed by Phillips, Baker, Gonzalez, Stasi should say, with Simpson. Watch the top 10 for the white flag lap, this time by, final time around. Keep an eye on the 904, who this time through needs to pick up ground and then some. Was another 2/10 off. Right now, Isabella Simpson on the bubble and looking comfortable. This was a kart that got bounced around off the start, mind you, as Hamill has the fastest lap of the race. Simpson has definitely had one of the better drives of the race. Remember, was pushed to the dead last spots in the main group with contact in the shark fin.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a drive to be proud of. What a run here for Isabella Simpson, the privateer on the X-Brie, to make it into the show. Surely it's going to hurt for Hunter McCown to know that you were in the position, you were so close, but that's just how racing goes sometimes.
Definitely an interesting B pre-final to set us up for the final. Those in red, gonna have to see how things go with the penalties to see who gets shuffled in and out as a result of the incident reviews we mentioned. But it's Juan Jose Paramo who dominates this one, gets the win in pre-final B. Over Hamil gets it done by 2.2 seconds, or 2.3 in fact. Ward, Felston, followed by Webster, Baker, Phillips, Gonzalez, Stasi with Simpson on the bubble. The first one out, Hunter McCown. You also have Ekholm, Dagan, along with Rouch, Kuzilo, and Duran was the only DNF. Looking at that pylon now. Interesting run for some of the drivers here. Any surprises, or what do you rather take from the B pre-final into the final, that you've got an extra 7 minutes of racing on hand today?
Well, you're definitely on the back foot, but I think it was an impressive drive from Alex Feldstein to go from last in the B pre-final. It's a pretty daunting task mentally to know that you're last in a race where that could send you home. So to work your way all the way up to fourth is definitely going to have some fighting to do in the main event later on today, but definitely an impressive drive here to get yourself in the show.
And so that ends off pre-final B. You see that counter up in the right-hand corner. That means we have a small break in the action. Let's take a small break. National anthem and main events coming up. You're watching Kart Chaser.
I didn't know how many people were transferring, so I was like, fuck it, if it's 4, I gotta get the 4.
Yeah, nah, I like that. Yeah, nah, it was 10. You were clear the number.
What?
It was 10.
Oh.
I was sitting there when you got it.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best cost-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
When it comes to innovation on the track, Odenthal Racing Products leads the pack. From the highly popular EasyGP camera mounts to our tough case to GoPro case, racers everywhere trust ORP for strength, reliability, and precision. We're proud to be the #1 engine mount manufacturer in the USA. And with our new Easy Bumper Retainer System, you won't get caught out with a failed bumper bolt again. Odenthal Racing Products. Lead or get left behind.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Just moments away from the start of today's racing action here for Stars. But if you are at the paddock, we'd like to ask that you please rise if you're able. And please get ready for today's playing of your national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much to singer and songwriter Mandy Goldman, today's national anthem performance artist, as we are just about moments away from the start of finals. 14 minutes plus 2 laps for the next 6 classes that will hit the racetrack to determine who goes on top. I'm Justin Prince, Kyle Cuthbertson alongside me in the booth. Nate Dean is trackside as we get set to go for our formation lap. These competitors have worked all weekend for right here to prove they can be the king of the castle. And today, we are all set to find out who starts off the day with our first win in the finals. Kyle, your thoughts on KA Masters as they hit the track?
One of the brightest classes, most entertaining classes of the day is the crazy old men, as we like to call them from time to time. You know, it's going to be exciting. You're defending 3-peat champion John Bonanno. You see him there starting in the 8th position. Let's go through the starting field, Justin.
Pierce Baldus, Brent Estes are amongst the top 2 here today to keep an eye on. The rest of Greg rolling on through. Include some of the notables of Mark Steele down in 12th on the starting grid. Byron Daly having to come up from 17th, for example, also here this evening and afternoon. Cam Carapolotti's been quiet, running about 20th to start things off. Paul Montepoli will have to come from the back also. Montepoli has been among the drivers towards the front end parts of the day, starting off in 25th amongst some of the notables. But that front of the field, that's going to be amongst this field we'll touch upon in a moment. We'll see some others that will have to come from the back. Scott Carapolotti, after issues in the pre-final, 31st. Same being said for one of the veterans in Algaro, who will be in the SLA down in 32nd. That being said here, these competitors are feisty when they want to compete. You have Baldus, Estes, Colello, long those up the front. Stifford in 4th, Galonia, Mir, Oren, and Bonanno. You throw Alfonsi and Presto. Any one of those 10 can get the job done today.
Yeah, a couple notables you see. You mentioned David Galonia, a former winner of this event from 2024. Mark Steele starting 12th. The only 2 former winners in KA Masters in this field. Clay Settle's not joining us, unfortunately. Last year's winner, you see John Bonanno on your screen. 3-time and defending champion, has never been claimed a king of the castle. Will that change today? Eyes on the starter in the tram lines. We got a little bit of confusion down the middle. We got Todd Shambo trying to slot back in. Is he going to make it in before the start? He does. It's all eyes on the starter now. Will we get the green? Looking. Green flag is in the air. We're green for KA Stars. So number 2, 12 of Brian Estes leading him through turn 1. He gets a bit of a gap. Trouble in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 karts involved.
A couple of them stuck together, in fact, trying to scramble. Christian Smith amongst those trying to wobble. Race started a review and contact. Issues going on to the heart of the field. Once again, it continues. Byron Daly is now amongst those stuck together with a driver. All sorts of chaos. That's Kim Carapolati had some contact off the start, it looked like. And everybody else runs their way through on the opening minute. 2 different reviews are underway as everyone chases behind your current race leader, Pierce Baldus, who starts things up at the front of the field.
Pierce Baldus took the lead from the 212 Brand Estes on the first lap. It's clean and green up here at the front, albeit some trouble in the back. As we've singled out here, 12.5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. We're about to complete the first. Clean and green single file all the way down to Bonanno. I believe that would be in the 7th or 8th position. See Bonanno, easy to tell that one plate as they cross the line. Just 1 second separates the top 8 as the top 3 have now pulled away nose to tail. Throw a blanket over to the top 3. Pierce Baldus still leads. 3rd place, Anthony Stifler, is looking to the inside a bit on Brand Estes. He's getting a little impatient. We'll see how he plays it here.
Yeah, this is going to be the interesting part of today is when you decide to go. We know longer distance, meaning you're going to put a lot more work into the kart compared to yesterday's race where the max you win was about 11-ish laps, give or take. You go up to about an estimated 16 or so here today. And does that impact you how you drive the race when you have an extra few laps like that in addition to already the dozens upon dozens of laps you put on this kart?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you're getting to the end of the week, and especially in these older categories, you tend to get a little bit tired. And you know, when you get to the KA Masters division, it's really just a love for the game. These guys have nothing to prove, unlike some of the young stars in this series. And it's all just, you know, you'll see a little bit more, I would say, as you see the 224 get into the grass and they got shoved a little bit by Bonanno. But as I was saying, it's a little bit calmer in the KA Masters division. You see a lot more calculated moves. These guys have nothing to prove, like I said. It's kind of just for a love of the game, but the only thing they're here to prove is bragging rights over their friends.
I mean, they also like a championship, there's that.
Yeah, you get a cool trophy.
Yeah, championships are fun. Stifler's having some fun, trying to move around for second. That's 2 attempts now in the past 2 braking zones. Anthony Stifler was someone that ended up working pretty well with some of the drivers up at the front to help push them along, especially in Heat 2 in the pre-final. But in this series, came away second last time out in the Queen City Gambit. So does have pace. That, along with last year's King of the Castle being in top 10 pace, Stifler's got good reputation he's built up in the past few races, whether it's Charlotte or whether here in Indy region. And today seems to want to prove he can get it higher than the second spot, get one of his first major wins in the past couple years. Going for second, looks like he'll take it and does with the squeeze on Estes.
Yeah, last time by, Pierce Baldus was 0.3 better than what was second place Brand Estes. I think Anthony Stifler knew he had to go, and then behind him, Nicky Coelho was ready for about the whole lap. He was wondering if Stifler was going to make the move and was ready. As you see, a 2-for-1 deal from the 217 there. Tyler Prestel didn't quite work out the way he wanted, but he knows that he needs to get as close to the top 6 as he can to stay in this fight for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at some of the squabbling still going on with Bonanno. He had good speed, Bonanno did in Heat 1, but since Heat 1 has been on the back foot. Had issues in the second heat that put him well down the order for the pre-final. Pre-final got good spots, but Bonanno just cannot seem to get the speed he's looking with the way this kart is set up for him to actually pass karts. He's got good cornering speed, but doesn't seem to have the straight line maybe with the way he's set up the kart.
Yeah, and like I said to start the race, John Bonanno, never a king of the castle. We got to fight for the lead. Anthony Stifler takes it from Pierce Baldus. Nicky Coelho is still waiting in the wings. I have to say, last time by, it was purple for Anthony Stifler. by 0.4 of a second. Quite a big margin. And Brant Estes, as I was about to say, was a bit off right now. I think for that fourth spot, John Bonanno's going to have to make quick work of him to stay in this fight, because for whatever reason, the 212 is going the wrong direction.
Yeah, Estes is currently seeing a bit of fall off. Hadn't said his, or it should say his fastest lap, but I mean fall off compared to the others. Stayed in the 3s compared to his 3rd lap last time, while majority of the others went to up the 113s on the racetrack. About 8-ish minutes to go here on the track. Also, keep in mind, Miguel Mir, we talked about him with Orsolon. He's looked like he's steadily improved this weekend. Just keep it at the tail end of this pack within the drafting range. If anything pops off here, Mir might be able to pick up pieces if he stays close enough to take advantage of the front straightaway right here, in particular down this long stretch.
Yeah, Miguel Mir, as we see Nicky Coelho is now going to make a move on Baldus to the inside. The 212 is going to try and follow with Bonanno behind. Baldus is going to stuck around the outside, puts a wheel in the dirt. The 212 is clear of Baldus, but John Bonanno just was not in the right position to make up a spot out of that. Now he's going to have Miguel Mir all over his mirrors.
Just right into the doorstep, if you will, but Mir just lost a little bit of ground either way. Right now, though, amongst some of the others, Nicky Coelho has looked impressive this weekend in his kart. He's been not afraid to go for some bold moves, and look at Estes going for some bold moves again for second. That time it's Cell Tower getting it done. The more they fight, though, the more they risk Stiffler trying to break away from this pack. It's been hard to break away. The largest lead outside of the outlier of an 8-second run in one of the pre-finals has been give or take 3 seconds. You don't want to risk Stiffler breaking away even on this long run, even if you know there's a chance to pull in, because you have to work the whole rest of the way just to have a shot to have 1 or 2 passes for the win.
I think Brant Estes heard us talking about a possible fall off early in the race, as he has now set the last 2 laps. Lap before, 0.6 better than his previous best, that time by about the same and a 10th better than the leader, Anthony Stiffler. Nicky Coelho is now going to be behind him to give a push to try, as I say that, Tyler Prestel in the 9th position, a bit far back to set the fast lap of the race. As we now get a wide view, you can see the top 9 are all together. It's just a matter of not letting Anthony Stiffler get away. See, now Bonanno might have a peek to the inside of Baldus here. Let's see if he stays in line. He does. So it's pretty much status quo to try and get back to the rear bumper of Anthony Stiffler and not let him get away.
Keep in mind, one of the things drivers might have to think about with the pre-drop eventually is going to be points, points, points. Right now, unofficially pre-drop, this is what it would be if the race was to finish now. Stiffler would be your points leader, not Bonanno, who is the multiple-time champion in all of this. That would be a big shuffle to the status quo as a result of Newcastle if the one doesn't make some moves. Estes in a solid spot to compete for the championship also. Obviously, though, a lot more can change in the late stages when drivers want to go. Like that. That is Colonia that had a bit of contact. Gets shuffled to the back instead. Prestel amongst those who zip by in the AMAX entry. And they all get back into line, all from a deep lunge in I-70.
Deep lunge there. And you mentioned the points. The thing you have to keep in mind still is the drops and putting together the math of that. With the drops, Bonanno right now, with this event being his drop, essentially, would still retake the points lead, but over 2 rounds, the drops don't matter as much, but still something just to keep in mind when you're racing for points. At especially a track like Newcastle, where Bonanno's never won before.
Right.
So this, you know, you could go into this with the mindset of, well, this could be our drop. If it's not, that's fine.
Yeah, there is definitely some of that conversation you can definitely say with that. You obviously don't want to say, I'll just use this race as the drop at the end, because you never know if your next race is the one you end up having to use as the drop instead. So there is a lot that can happen over the course of even a 4-race season. Right now, under 4 minutes to go, Stiffler is in a good spot to help out his conversation regardless.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, he had a big slow up. Stiffler went right off the gas, it looked like, off the exit of I-70 and caused a checkup.
Couldn't tell if that was possibly a mechanical or a mistake there. It was kind of interesting in the middle of the corner just to see a loss of, maybe a little slide, a little bobble. I don't know, it could be. As Nicky Coelho now takes the second spot. Nicky Coelho has been just right there this entire race. He's been playing it smart, hasn't made too many aggressive. You see a replay. We'll see. Yeah, it just looks like he was out of it, sliding there. Might have messed up the corner, missed it. Had a big slide on entry, but just that loss of, had to get out of the throttle there to not go off track. That's what it was.
Yeah, it looked like he corrected mid-corner with the turn hard to the left. That caused a bit of that shuffle. Incidental review with that sequence, by the way. Estes getting pressurized, and that's now forced the pack to be a little bit more urgent. Now that we're within about under 30 minutes to work with here. Still the lead for Stifler regardless, but this entire pack is now getting that little bit antsier because of that. Bonanno along the curbing, trying to make a move. Instead, has a little bit of door baiting as to the curb. This time goes Mir. He slams the door. Galonia gets himself by Presto. They all squabble again with still a few laps to go.
Yeah, the urgency now is starting to build. I think Bonanno probably saw the 208 and 212 start battling and letting Stifler get away, knowing that Stifler is your main competition in the points. I think Bonanno's mindset here is just get around Baldus, possibly if we can, as quickly to get up to those two. As we see now, Estes is going to make a move for second. I don't know, there's still a minute and a half plus 2 laps, but you do not want to let Stifler get away.
That's a racing machine. Looking to put the eyes up in focus here. Just right now within a small range of the toe. Under 2 minutes to work with here from Newcastle. Bonanno still the one to keep an eye on the run. Down the front straightaway. Looking like he's tucking in. Will he get a chance to poke? Takes a look initially outside. Fakes it down to the inside. Cuts again. Second attempt on Baldus in 2 laps. Again, the answer is no. Mir this time gives him a love tap on the bumper.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here to see Bonanno just trying again, but that was the second time he almost tried to go for the spot on Baldus. At the same time, gave Miguel Mir an opportunity behind him. I'm interested in Bonanno on if he'll be close enough in Cell Tower. That's not a place he's tried to pass yet. The last lap he was riding the rear bumper. I think Baldus got a great run here on Coelho. Might be able to get together here and form an alliance to get back to Brant Estes.
Right now, that's going to require some competition again, coordination, if you will. But right now, that's not been coming. Looking on ascend this time, yet again. Morin amongst those, taking some pokes in the heart of the field. Coming up to the final moment, should be 3 to go here. You see the lap close. They were still across regardless. Stifler still running 1:13.5. His best lap. Look at that. Baldus getting a little argy-bargy this time with Coelho.
That was a pass in the grass. Baldus was shoved and had 2 wheels in the grass and still managed to hold on to the spot. Incredible stuff as you see the lap comparison from Stifler. He's only getting faster up in the lead. The gap is now 0.7 of a second. Last time by, first and second, Stifler and Estes were running pretty much identical lap time. Stifler just getting the nudge by a few hundredths of a second. But it seems like it's pretty much evened out at the front. It's going to be Baldus as Bonanno has now gotten around Coelho, and Bonanno is now going to set his sights on Baldus. We're still going to have 2 to go when we get to the line here, which is more than enough time for Estes to get back to Stifler if we can get a pack going. But for Bonanno here, it's pretty much just stop the bleeding. There's not a lot of bleeding happening, but when you're fighting for a championship, every spot counts. Every spot matters when we get down to the bitter end of the season.
Especially when it comes to factory where your drop may be versus the non-drop, etc. We touched upon earlier. But with 2 laps to go, second is still heating up. It's time to cook up another spot for Pierce Baldus. He's able to zip on by. Pierce Baldus getting to second. Bonanno is now on the top 3 of the charts. Now is looking to try and gain another spot here with a lap and a fourth to go. A lap and a half, if you will.
Yeah, now Bonanno is going to work together with Baldus as we look through the green corner. Lost a little bit of time through green corner there. I would say to Brandt. S is there. You can visually see the 212 get right back on the rear bumper of the #1 plate. Baldus not a great, as we see an incident. That is, I believe, the Barrel of Colonia that we just saw at the bottom of our screen there. Tough break for Colonia running inside the top 10. A former winner of the King of the Castle. It's now Bonanno right in the rear bumper of Baldus. As we get the white flag, things are going to start to heat up for a second between Bonanno and Baldus.
Down the straightaway they go for the final time, this time through. Bonanno's got the run for second and takes it. Estes gives the secure. Here comes Baldus alongside for third though. A squeeze off the racetrack. A push this time from Coelho. Baldus slides back up to third. Coelho takes the dive of the shark fin. Now the cross back for Estes gets clear. Mir still waiting in the popcorn seat. Back and forth goes Estes. Once again, a little bit of rubbing. Pushed nearly off the track again. Coelho able to get the shuffle back ahead with a half a lap to go.
Half a lap to go, and that run through I-70 was exactly what Bonanno wanted. The gap last time was 10 points, and now the gap shrinking even more with Bonanno in second as Coelho just held off Estes. Miguel Mir is going to have the run coming into the final 4 corners. You see Todd Shambo also entering the mix to try and get into the top 5.
This has been an interesting battle again here this morning. Right now, though, for Anthony Stifler, a chance to put himself in the points conversation. The first King of the Castle, Anthony Stifler, gets the KA Masters. It's your first to join on the wins list for King of the Castle in its history. The first of the day to do the wins today. And Bonanno says congrats to him. Stifler cannot believe it.
Great drive by Anthony Stifler really throughout the entirety of the race. And like I mentioned in the last lap, John Bonanno saves it with a P2 finish. He's now 5 points behind Anthony Stifler headed into round number 3. As you see, there's your results. John Bonanno by just behind Anthony Stifler by 0.6 of a second. Here's Baldus, gets a spot on the podium. There's Nicky Coelho, P4. Ran Estes finishes a P5. Miguel Mir, P6. Todd Shambo, 7. Tyler Prestel, 8th. Mark Steele, 9th. Eric Henning rounds out the top 10.
Scott Kopp finished down in 11th. Kevin Garro down in 12th. Evan Kozak, Paul Alfonte, then Brook down there in 15th position here. Ken Severo, quiet weekend for him down in 16th. Scott Carapellotti down in 17th. You have Chris Stevenson down in 18th. You have McGinn. Look at Jeff Clyde. He was to the back of the field here. Drove up to 20th. Over top the production machine of Paul Montepoli. Smith amongst those in the early stack up still finished 22nd over Horan, who dropped down the order. We had a lot of drivers that also DNF'd from incidents. We had 4 total. Byron Daly on the first lap didn't even complete the first lap after being one of the top drivers in points before this weekend. But all the drivers are jumping out of their carts in the tech line and giving their handshakes after an uber competitive run for one Anthony Stifler. And Stifler's going to be happy about a run like this to take control. And after being the assister, he's able to get the checkered flag here today, Nate.
Yeah, Anthony Stifler, king of the first one in 2026. Had a little bit of battling at the start of that race, but it seems like you walked away from the rest of them. Just talk me through that race and that main event.
I mean, honestly, the go-kart's been fast all day. We started 17th. We just worked our way up. Sean Guernsey, mechanic, best mechanic out there. He didn't change anything. He thought, rubber's going to change. We've been following yellow rubber all week. Now we're following red, a little bit different grip level. Worked perfect. I want to say thank you to all the masters here. Really, really good. really, really good field of 33, 34, the best masters, period. This is mini Vegas, right? So I want to say thanks BBS, Strong Motor, OTK, and first off, Stifler Motorsports. It's a new team for this year. Anyone wants to come join, come join.
First win in Stars Championship Series competition. Congrats, Anthony, king of the castle. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Anthony Stifler. Once again gets the job done today in KA Masters. Big win. And as he said, new team and gets itself a winning track record here in Stars. Our next group, onto the racing scene we go. Next up will be Micro Swift. It's Bo Wyatt and Tristan Francisco on its front row. Capitello will be in the top 3 over Grayson Wayne. You have Jack Kotowski, Kipling Canals, Barnett, Shane, followed by Torres and Al Greta. Amongst your top 10 here today as they all prepare. Find out how things plot out. JJ Deshawn and Trey Sanders of note. 12th spot for the 33.
Yeah, Trey Sanders back in the grid, but was in the fight for the win yesterday. As you see down to row 7, the 37 of Franco Chavio and TJ Akers, Jerry Hanley and Dusty Strayer. Here's the rest of your field as we line up to the green. It's Tristan Francisco and Bo Wyatt on the front row. We saw quite the moment for Francisco yesterday. Still managed to be second on the grid. It's the Micro Swifts, the youngest division here at the Stars King of the Castle. Ready to go green for 14 minutes plus 2 laps. It's going to be anyone's fight here. You see the 51 Bennick crawling to the tram lines down the front straightaway. Down the final corner.
Spurting the clutch out, if you will. Spurting the clutch. Getting all set to go for the tram lines. And ready to go. So keep it slow paced. Remember, there's been a lot of back and forth on the lines. You see the inside and outside both having some offset. They're 3 wide. Off and away we go.
Yeah, Kip Canals made a huge run to the inside there, and Tristan Francisco is the biggest loser. As you see, crash to the inside of the track. That's a Burrell. And Car Republic a couple more spins. Exiting turn number 1. It looks like the front of the field will be clean and green. There's still a few on the exit of turn 1, but it's going to be Kotowski versus Wyatt. Like I said, Francisco didn't have the best start as the 20 machine is going to fall back. See, there's the 12 machine as well as Bryson Barnett having a great start. 48 of Compitiello takes the P3 position as you see the Burrell Art of Kotowski now fighting for the lead. Bo Wyatt up front in the Bennick halfway through the first lap. Francisco up to 4th. He's trying to make the best of a rough start. Barnett is now getting shuffled. Still inside the top 10 for the number 12 machine.
Off to an interesting start, to say the very least, and Bo Wyatt, one of those that took the lead on the final lap through Cell Tower. They're working with Tristan Francisco to make it a 2-kart battle, remember, in the pre-final. Wyatt back where they left off in the previous race. First lap complete. Jack Kotowski got the quickest lap of them all. Look at Canals going wheel to wheel still. Amongst those ahead, that is the 33 from the teams already back into the head of Pack 2. That battle did push Canals back a few spots. It'll put them right into the battle with Franco's Kart in the 37 CRG.
Yeah, Trey Sanders was up 6 spots after the first lap. Just made it even more as we see Kip Canals still just getting shuffled to the back. Just has been in the wrong position at the wrong time, unfortunately, for the 61.
Yeah, now all this is to say the top 2 are trying to do it again. This time Nico Kotowski trying to find the push. Now they're side by side for a moment. Kotowski had a bit of overlap with the way Wyatt took the exit of Cell Tower. As they come at a blue corner, that little miscommunication was just enough to keep everyone back with them towed. Look at how much speed you pick up here on the micros. Micro Mini, a lot of draft dependency we've seen across the different racetracks you'll see from them. You'll have a lot of pickup down the straightaways if you're able to time it right. and get enough coordination for the karts behind to assist you.
Yeah, this class, obviously the youngest division at Stars. You see the 48 tried to make a move to the inside, didn't quite get the run. Just put it right back into single file. But as I was saying, youngest division, also the slowest division, which means that throughout a track as big and as wide as the Newcastle Motorsports Park, a lot of it will be flat out. And so it's a lot of learning, drafting, working together, pushing, working with teammates. You see the 33 of Trey Sanders is now behind the 20 of Tristan Francisco. Those are teammates, and they're going to look to work together, as well as the 48 is also a teammate in the 48 of Compatiello.
A lot of RPMs indeed up at the front of the field as Francisco looks to jump up a spot. Looks like a bit of a slide out with Compatiello with the left sides in the grass. Lose an additional one to Sanders as a result. So the 33 is up inside the top 4. Trey looks to try and go up for the 3, if you will. Take the 3rd spot instead of not just being Steph Curry, if you will. I know the triple 3s also is the play on with his name being Trey. Trey means 3 with basketball. I think there's an underlying meaning to that with the triple 3s. They battle up behind.
I don't think I would have figured that out, Justin. The 33 of Trey Sanders up into the 4th spot now. We're taking a look now at the 48 of Compatiello, who got kind of taken aback there a couple laps ago. He's going to have to try and build that momentum back up. Shout out to the number 12 of Bryson Barnett, the privateer entry, into the 5th spot now, working into the top 5. Big time battle here between the 37 of Franco, 31 of Jose Torres also in the mix, and that Team Ferris Racing number 31.
Yeah, just waiting behind as Jabos good stays on the inside. Takes the pass, makes the move. Up goes the 37. Up an additional spot as a result of the squabble as they continue to brawl it on out, if you will, in this brouhaha. But the more they fight like this, the more risk they have of losing gap. After all, Barnett just said, you know what, I'm not going to battle. I'll just try and drive and keep up with the pack. Downside, no assistance to help him to the next pack.
Yeah, but I think that's probably the best position to be in right now if you are the 12, because you know that this top 4 at some point are going to start battling. So just keep your head down and wait for the race to come to you. As Katowski, like I just said, Katowski, Nico to the front over Bo Wyatt, 1st spot. But Trey Sanders is going to settle into the 4th spot. But nope, as I say that, he's going to take a move in the hairpin up to the P3 spot for the 33.
So there's the Trey. Pushes Trey off the back end. Compatiello losing, makes the pass, and now the 33 is dropping back significantly.
Barnett got his elbows out. And 6 of Kip Knaus, who started within the top 10, is now down 14 spots. Encountered a spin in the 3rd to last corner. He is now out of the race. An unfortunate end of the day for Kip Knaus.
That will be joining Smith, Zolman, and Lee, who didn't get going as a result of incidents on the opening lap that are scored in 21st, 22nd, 23rd, respectively. So already 4 karts off track, but Katowski battles with Francisco, and Tristan Francisco has been competitive all week and ran away with the win by 1.4 seconds. Remember, in Heat 1, was your pole sitter this weekend, also in the RPM kart. Right now, your Charlotte winner looking to make sure to try and go 2 for 2 in the finals to try and really pull himself forward in the championship.
Just to know 2 seconds separates the top 5 still, even though we are a little bit spread out. It was purple last time for Liam Compatiello. He will be pushing the 12 of Bryson.
Into the conversation also, but that in mind, coming through and entering Stars and backing it up with some of the best in all of America here again in this competition.
Yes, lots of experience through the field, which is crazy to say when you're talking about the age range of the micro Swifts. It's hard to remember that these are just kids sometimes with how mature they race, and how mature they are out on the racetrack.
It takes a lot of maturity to be strong as a driver. It takes a lot of racecraft also, but that's the big thing. As these drivers move up the ranks, or more about the craft they need. Right now, we're far along with the 37 Chavo, who's got in front of Barnett, by the way. He's lost touch now. Barnett take the send back on by. Retakes sixth. Right now, these two have a bit of separation of about a second or so. They need to close up, though, to keep up with the top 5 pack. They're still not done on the swaps.
Chavo with another move through the shark fin on Bryson Barnett. They're just letting the rest of the field, the top 5, get away now. But I think they probably think that they're fighting for a higher spot in the top 10. I think that they're fighting for a higher spot in the top 10 at this point in the running. As last time by, the leaders were running a 17.5 to a 17.8. Barnett, Chavo, just around that same part actually, but about 3 or 4 tenths off, which is just enough to start and see that front pack start to just drift away.
Yeah, again, it's simple. Now it is Keselowski and Francisco controlling their own destinies here. Although Wyatt has found the 48 in Campatiello, so you have RPMs that are the pushers. Now the RPMs are starting to see some swaps. That's for Francisco taking the lead.
Francisco takes the lead. He points forward to the 92 of Nico Katowski. Now with 3 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, that seems like the move right now. I think Nico probably knows that he's gonna have a shot at the end here no matter what. And it even is in this class, it's almost a fight of whether or not you want to be leading. Now, Tristan might think that he has a fast enough car to just get away, which could be true. So it is worth getting to the lead here and just seeing if you have enough over Nico to maybe build a gap and get ahead. But the draft is just so strong here. So important to be behind another car to give a push and to stay right behind. As you see, the 48 and the 51 train led by Bo Wyatt, the P3 position. We'll see what the gap is next time by. Tristan Francisco in this front 2 did go purple last time, so the front pack was still faster, but it looks like the 51 has started to close the gap. Last time by, about a second better for the third place of Bo Wyatt, a 17.0 to a 17.9. Now Francisco and Katowski did pass, but I think we saw a lot of that time gained in the final sector of the racetrack. The 51 is just blasted to the back bumper of the 92 out of nowhere.
Yeah, right to the rear end after staying within about a second or so. They've all chipped away. Now Wyatt looks hungry to try and make a move as Francisco tries to say, I've got to say goodbye to this. This is now a group of 4 karts deep with a chance to win with under 2 minutes to work with on the clock for the Micro Swifts. Do you have a favorite out of all this you think is going to get it done? Because Francisco seems to have really good speed off corners that is allowing him to break away a little bit. But the others with that draft still are chipping away. Like Wyatt, who's going for second.
There's a little bobble there by Katowski in the cell tower section. Just a little too hard on the brakes. Got a little sideways, just lost just enough time for Bo Wyatt to have the momentum to get around him. Heading into 45 seconds across the line, about a minute on our timing, plus 2 laps. It's gonna be 3 to go. As you see the pack just close together going into turn number 1. It's all about momentum. You see exiting the corner, the 92 with that little checkup entering turn number 1, didn't have the exit like Bo Wyatt did to get back to the rear bumper of Francisco. If I'm Francisco, I don't know if I want to be leading here to the end, but it has shown that it's worked over the last 2 to 3 laps.
Definitely so. And right now, Wyatt. Here's Bennick ready to see what he can do with the clock about to run out here. We're coming up to 2 laps to go. Urgency level about to pick up for those on the board. Right now, Keselowski staying in the tire tracks. Campatiello has the chance to try and sort things out to the back of the field. The fastest lap of the race overall in the weekend set by Wyatt earlier was a 1:17 flat. he might need some more pace to go. Some of these karts are really feeling the tires. Some of the drivers dropped to the 117 fours to 118 flats last time. Time to block with 2 to go. Francisco on the inside. Wyatt looking to the outside. Same for Capitiello, trying to go way high. Bobulated for the white flag this time. If they want a chance at Francisco, they need to push hard. Look at Wyatt pushing hard to the 90s. Coming up to the front straight away. Francisco goes hard to the right. Says Wyatt has to do it the long way around. He does with with the help of Jack Kotowski. It's Kotowski to the front of the field.
Jack Kotowski to the front. Bo Wyatt pushing. Jack's going to go low, entering the shark fin. But Bo Wyatt gets to the inside and takes the lead. Tristan Francisco almost around, saves it.
Chaos abound as the leaders broken up again. Top 3 now with a chance. Sanders from outside the top 10 starting spots. Trying to go. It's been a +7 coming into the lap. Now he looks to try and find a way around Kotowski.
It's a 3-kart race for the win. Bo Wyatt, Jack Kotowski, and Trey Sanders going into Cell Tower. Kotowski to the inside, 3 wide, slides in front. They're still 3 wide. The 37 of Chavo now joins the fight. Trey Sanders to the lead. Bo Wyatt side by side for 3rd. Chavo in the CRG takes it. Top 4 all together. Bo Wyatt to the inside. They're side by side. They touch.
Going door to door. Here we go again for the 90s. One more opportunity. Wyatt looks to the inside, going for 2nd. Instead, it's Kotowski. Sanders goes for the pack and charges his way to victory.
Trey Sanders out of nowhere on the final lap takes the win. You can see how much that means to the young RPM driver. He's the king of the castle in Micro Swift.
How about that finish? Wyatt got 2nd by less than a 10th over Capitello. Then you had Kotowski. Franco Schiavo, where did that come from in the top 5? Barnett over Tristan Francisco takes a tumble late, down to 8th as a result of that shuffle. Torres and Alvagretta in the top 10. Dusty Strayer quiet in the CKG camp at 11th. Hanley wants those up there. We had 5 karts out of the race as a result of incidents. Hale, Nels, Smith, Zolman, Lee. Amongst those, we're off track. So just like that, our 2nd final of the day complete. More racing is coming up here on Kart Chaser. Casey Masters and Casey Supermasters are set to do on the racetrack next as the geese have fun at the pond. We'll go up next for more racing.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation. Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America. Use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser Driver Fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm gonna show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion. Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad. Coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Talking more about action for Stars Championship Series brought to you by Mazda Motorsports. Right now, we're set for Casey Masters and Supermaster with Jordan Munster at the front of the field, Mathewson, Presti, and Holwell in the top 4. Then the top Supermaster is Crow alongside Cheek the third. But Chico had issues in warm-up. We'll see how things go now. Brought down in the top 8. Runco is amongst those in the top 9. Once those in the second tab, you have a couple notables. Templeman, who looked fast in practice, 11th. Tim Hannon is amongst those in 18th. Kevin Siminoan was quiet earlier in the air class. Now it looks to be loud here, up there in 14th. But with Brad Danoff also having a quiet weekend, who do you expect to get loud through the gears this time here, Kyle?
Jordan Musser, and I think Scott Presti is probably going to have something up his sleeve for today. We saw he had a great start yesterday. He thought better of it and just kind of had a methodical day. Obviously, the 600 numbers plus the 1 and the 2 and the 3, excuse me, you see on your screen are the Pro Masters, and any kart starting with a 5 will be your Pro Super Masters. Second year that we've run that Pro Super Masters category. Jordan Musser, defending winner of the King of the Castle event, the only former winner in the Pro Masters field. You also see on your screen there the 631 of Tim Hollowell, a privateer who runs locally here at Newcastle, taking the fight to the big teams, to the big boys. You see now one of the coolest sights, probably the best sight in the sport of karting. As you see the shifters lining up on the grid row by row, front of the grid, throwing tape off, rolling the tires, trying to get water through the engine. See Christian Marsh, visors down.
Take a listen, here we go. Well, that didn't go to plan.
Big off there for Owsley Cheek, I believe, or that was Owsley Cheek the third in the 577 factory kart. See, like I said yesterday, Scott Presti with a great start, already up to P2, breathing down the neck of Musser. Cole Mathewson is going to sit in third with Tim Hollowell hunting them down in fourth in the TV kart. What a start. You saw there the jump start by one of the Magic Karts further down in the field. And Alzi Cheek ended up going off there. Luckily, there were no geese there. Luckily, he didn't make it all the way to the pond. We've seen that before over the years here, and those geese have just been hanging out. And we were just talking about this off air, that the geese were right there exiting turn one. And luckily, Owsley Cheek did not get any of those as we go back to the on-track action. Jordan Musser, Scott Presti through the second to last corner. I think it's going to be a game of chess here between Musser and Presti, Mathewson and Tim Hollowell. And as I say that, Scott Presti going to go to the inside, thinks better of it. Jordan Musser defends, holds the spot.
Able to defend for now with Presti and Mathewson amongst those in the top three. Hollowell still in fourth. Of note with all of that, Brett Danoff is actually scores the top Supermaster at the moment, not Crow. So for the first time, Crow is not your leader in Supermaster. With that jump in the midst of the pack, that's a bit of a change here with what's been the status quo. Although Presti, who has been a champion in Pro Masters, that back in 2024, providing a ton of pressure to find a way to go ahead and keep this one on its toes.
Yeah, keeping Jordan Musser on his toes. And it's not an easy thing to do, especially here at Newcastle this weekend, where Jordan Musser has just been so impressive, so dominant. Number one plate, fending off the two. Scott Presti gets such a good run in the run to the last corner. He'll be right on the back bumper of Musser. He looks to the outside. Can he make it happen? Dives low into one. No. Just looking. Like I said, I think this is going to be a game of chess here, Justin. It's a shifter race. You're going to have to conserve the tires over 14 minutes, which is not easy, especially Jordan Musser. Nate and I were just talking this morning about how difficult it's going to be able to beat Jordan Musser, because the thing he does so well is save his equipment while being fast. Obviously, the number one plate of Musser, so experienced, so talented, goes and runs, has ran the KZ World Championships in Europe. He's a champion here in the United States, moves to the pro division when we go to Vegas later in the year, and runs competitive against the best in the world. True world-class talent here, leading the Super Masters field. Scott Presti is now hunting him down.
He's trying to find a way to match pace for pace in the 107.4s last time. This time through 106.6s as they continue to turn it up. Mathewson got the fastest of the three up front, by the way, this time. Also have Hollowell staying within range also. By the way, Crow off screen has taken back the Supermasters lead. So that's in front of Danoff. That gap all of a sudden has gone up 3 seconds. So that has switched in a very big way. In other words, if your favorite color is red, you have your favorite color leading in both your classes again.
Absolutely, that would be me. Scott Presti there, as you saw in the hairpin, had a bit of a rough run on the exit of the corner, lost some time to Musser. It looks like he's gathered it back here for Cell Tower. He lost a bit of time, but I think he reeled it back in. He gained a bit of it back, but he did have a bobble. As we see two drivers in the dirt, that's Bradley Danoff. One of the Magic Karts, that's Runco.
Yeah.
Obviously not happy with each other there. Danoff showing his displeasure.
That was with about 3 seconds back. Remember, Supermasters lead that were battling for 9th on the racetrack. That is unfortunate for Danoff in particular, who is having a really improved run after we've seen Cheek the third O'Hannon control second much of the way in that respective class. Still keeping an eye, though, on this lead group. Mathewson and Hollowell have shown flashes. Mathewson's been second just about every race. This is the first time he's not ran second by this point of any of the runs so far, either in the heats or the pre-final. That 6:33 needs to find some long run pace to catch back up to Presti and take up back that second step.
Yeah, I thought Presti would have something here today I was right, as Presti takes the second spot. Mathewson kind of falls to third. You're seeing Tim Hollowell kind of hunting down the 6:33. Hollowell has had tremendous pace through the end of all of the sessions this weekend. So with the longest race of the weekend, I'm really expecting this 6:31 to come alive as the minutes wind down. You see a look through the field. There's Machiko in the 5th position. LaCroix 6th. Jordan Musser goes purple. Here's the leader in the Pro Supermasters division, the 531 of John Pro. All by himself now as Runco and Danoff went off together. You see on the ticker on the left side of your screen, the classes are split between the Pro Masters and Pro Supermasters, but that is not exactly how they run on track. The 531, you saw with the crash with Danoff and Runco, that was between a Pro Master and Supermaster. So the classes are a bit split through the 531 on track. He has some karts in between them that are running in the Pro Masters category.
Yeah, it's been like that all weekend here, and the Pro has had a phenomenal weekend as a whole, you can say, for him. It's been hard to keep up with him in the class. That's why it was a surprise early on. We've seen the Marinello on the front early on, but not now. Just on his own now is Crow. Focus on just his marks, keeping it clean for the next 7 minutes on the clock here before we get rumbling along. Up in front, Mathewson yet to get himself around Presti, by the way, as they continue to stay relatively close here. What does Mathewson need to do to get back to Presti here on the track that he can do?
Yeah, he's going to get right to the back bumper of Presti. Presti, for whatever reason, has now fallen to the 106.6s. Jordan Musser's fast lap last time by was a 106.2. The best lap of the race by Jordan Musser was a 106.2, and his last lap was also a 106.2, just a difference in hundredths of a second. Just to tell you how consistent and good Jordan Musser is right now ahead of the field. You see the gap there as Mathewson is now in the rear bumper. Scott Presti looks like he pointed him by there. He's going to give him the spot. Doesn't want to fight too hard. I think Presti knows that if there's any chance of getting a better result here, it's going to be someone else than him to go and catch Jordan Musser. Cole Matheson's last time by was a 106.8, and Jordan Musser goes even better at a 106.1. Last time for Presti was a 107. So the two machine, the croc machine of Scott Presti, for whatever reason, has been falling off quite a bit here.
Terms with the calmest run they've had as a class this weekend so far here in the 633 camp. Mathewson, we'll see in the background. Hallwell also taken by Presti. So Presti recognizing the long run pace falling off here on his kart, running them through, and will sacrifice the top 30 positions here in Stars action this weekend.
Tim Hollowell puts himself into a podium position here in P3, getting the opportunity to take a trophy home. Jordan Musser once again 106.1. The run for Jordan Musser these last few laps has just been absolutely incredible. Lap 4 with a 106.3, down to 2, down to 2, down to 1 is Scott Presti. Had to have just noticed an issue the last couple laps. It has to be why he pointed Mathewson by. Just knew that it was getting close to the end as you see him just off the track at the shark fin in disbelief that his run has been cut short with 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
So definitely the recognition was there of understanding that car was having an issue, and now Presti goes from running in second to not even finishing. Big points tumble coming up here now as we come up to the final 4 minutes of this race. Mathewson and Hallwell are well and certainly on your podium spots here. We also lost Lawrence. We're now at a DNF mark of 5 on your track if you're keeping count on the board. Right now, Mathewson on the pace. It's consistent at the very least. His pace seems to be equalizing out to the 8s if you go for the past 3. So obviously has had a well-balanced setup here at the Rocket Racing Machine.
Yeah, well-balanced machine. See the consistent lap times of Cole Mathewson. Fantastic graphic here by the team showing the consistency of the Rocket Racing Company. 6:33, not just as consistent, but just a bit off the mark from the pace Jordan Musser has set in this running of the Pro Masters, Pro Supermasters, King of the Castle. We see a battle here. There's Owsley Cheek, who went way into the weeds in turn 1, lap 1. Is now fighting through. That would be Hugh Templeman in the 500 in the 6:27 of Lorenz. So we have a Pro Master in the middle of 2 Pro Supermasters, so the overall positions will change here, or are different. But Owsley Cheek is going to look for an overall position there on the Lorenz, and then sets his sight for a class position on Templeman.
Decent recovery, to say the least, after being so many seconds behind because of the issues on the opening lap, including in the grass. It's what you need to do if you're Cheek the third. Drive, and get yourself powered down. Have an opportunity. Look at this run to the rear end. Going for the move.
Ooh.
Templeman didn't see it. Templeman forced off the gas and loses a couple spots on track.
I think he took Templeman by surprise there a little bit. It looks like he missed a shift, and now he's going to have the 566, excuse me, on the back bumper. He thinks about it. That's Kevin Simonellic. Templeman gathers it back up, and here he is through the green corner. Now makes a gap over Kevin.
Yeah, but obviously Templeman's got the pace compared to the 566. Just again, not as much compared to Cheek the third, who's been one of the top championship drivers in Supermasters this season. Under 90 seconds to work with here in this one as Musser continues to put on domination station. An unreal drive here today for your race leaders, to say the least, for those tuning in. Going at the midway point of your finals that are the 14-minute length. The Pro Show will be later today, approximately a 1 p.m. start for some of those drivers later on this afternoon. But for now, all of these competitors trying to make sure they pick up some hardware and get themselves more wins. Musser in range to go back-to-back. Well, Crow having a chance to give his team back-to-back victories here at this facility. And again, love what we've seen here in Newcastle, Kyle.
Back-to-back victories here on the way, possibly for Jordan Musser. With 2 laps and 30 seconds to go. He said a great day of action still yet to come. Look at the end of Hugh Templeman here, towards the end of the Pro Masters, Pro Supermasters final.
Yeah, and again, for a lot of drivers here, it's about having fun, trying to make sure you are able to keep on racing to wherever you are. The Magic Kart, after all, has been one of those that's kept up a battle here late. He's made some national appearances with the Queen City Gambit, was middle of the pack at the Supermasters there. Night Fight was amongst those inside some of the front running in the class, also under the lights. That's going to be again at the end of the season. The good recovery, though, for Cheek the third. It's getting close to Johnson. All of this as well as we come up to a couple laps to go. There's the one. It's the biggest lead of the weekend for him, 5.7 seconds.
Yeah, and he's just now, as you can see from the comparison, just kind of started to let off a little bit. You see that fastest lap, the 106.1 on lap 8. And he's kind of let it off a little bit. I don't know how much of that is Jordan Musser actually letting off versus the tires and just the number of laps on the machinery taking its toll. But still consistent laps nonetheless for Jordan Musser.
Untouchable in that PSL karting machine here this weekend. Long run has been so difficult to stop. No mistakes have been made by him really outside of one hole shot. He only made up for it within 4 minutes. Now coming up to the white flag as they work their way through the 90s, this time through. All the one needs to do, no slides, no troubles. Coming up, 1 lap to go in KZ Master and Supermaster.
Just a comparison for how good Jordan Musser is right now. In Pro Moto 2, in the Pro Stars category, Jordan Musser's best lap would be good enough to put him into the 3rd position in the Pro Stars Moto 2 from yesterday. Now again, they had older tires at that point in Moto 2, but even in Moto 1, a 106.1, that'll be in the P5 spot with the Pro Stars category, with a little bit higher weight as well with the Masters category. So Jordan Musser, one of the best here, the Stars King of the Castle.
Dominant day, a dominant drive. Your winner from Charlotte, and your winner last year by razor-thin margins. Didn't need a razor-thin margin this time. Jordan Musser makes their way through the final corners for PSL Karting. Give it a back-to-back effort. Jordan Musser gets the win again at King of the Castle. All this is while the rest of the pack finishes up. John Crow about to close up the run also to join them. 6.4 seconds the distance for Musser at the front of the field. And he immediately says, I didn't forget about the donut part of it. I'm doing some now.
Gets some of the donuts in next to the stricken number 2, Scott Pressey. An unfortunate end as he's going to get some more in scoreboard. Those are some impressive donuts there from Jordan Musser. Just getting them out of the way. He earned them. Congratulations, Jordan Musser, on a dominant weekend here at Newcastle.
Crow has confirmed himself as the winner over Hannon, by the way, in Supermaster. That's what Cheek the third, driving to 30, did get by Johnson to take the top 3 for your podium spots. In amongst the Supermasters, Matthewson and Hallwell hold on to them in Masters. But Musser drives himself ahead and gets himself towards the scale lines to help celebrate his run here. Let's take a look at your final results. Musser, Matthewson, Hallwell, your top 3 are Machiko and Lacroix. Then you have the 607, Christina Brandt. You also have Caruso on the lead lap. Lawrence, Presti, Runco were laps down. Then you have Crow, who won Supermaster over Hannon, Cheek the third, Johnson, and Templeman. Once the 15 carts there. Once the drivers off track, put it there, included Danoff and Gentry. Let's send it down to Nate, trackside.
Jordan Musser, another king of the castle for you, number 1, finishing in P1. Doing donuts on track, and you still made it first in the scale line. Walked away from the rest of the field. We haven't talked to you this weekend yet. Just walk us through this weekend and how difficult it's been.
I mean, obviously the end result looked pretty easy, but it wasn't without a lot of work. Right off the trailer, the PRG PSL Burrell was fast, but we had a tire go down in Heat 1 and had to really fight. They were hitting me, and I was doing everything I could. Stay in the lead. Pressure came up throughout the heat, and I was able to fend them off. Heat 2, huge driver error. I made a mistake on the start. Had to drive back from 5th. Heat 3 in the final was smooth sailing. So made like literally 2 changes to the go-kart, all weekend. I think it's the same with my teammates, Irwin. We all changed little things, and the go-kart's just perfect. I've been working really hard, practicing every week, and this is the result. This is the easy part. It's all the hard work every week, and it's nice to see these kind of results when you work that hard.
Another king of the castle. Who would you like to thank?
Oh man, PRG, Stilo Simpson, my own company, Muster Technical. We make camera mounts and battery mounts for shifter carts and other carts. PSL has been huge. My mechanic Corey, not a wheel wrench wrong all weekend. And Franz and the whole PSL team, it really is a team effort, motors, chassis, everything. We make few decisions on our own. We always talk about it and make sure that we're all making a decision collaboratively, and sometimes we even try different stuff. So it's definitely always a team effort.
Congrats, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much as he'll go into the tech line. We'll take a small break, some pickup. You're watching Kart Chaser once again from Newcastle.
Looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Take a look at your lineup here today for your next group, the KA Juniors. It's Travis Pettit, it's Marco Samet, Murphy, Kotelski, Berghofer, and Kidd. Zentian, Fernandez, Gaddis, Leberman are amongst those inside your top 10. Move on forward to the rest of the top 20.
You see Christopher Yutzi, P12 in row 6, Tucker Tree, P11, Orioli, Romero, Schniegenberg, Brody, Vitor, Baldus, Gibaldi, and Matev make up the first 10 rows.
Now down the order, Jackson Alfonte, you have Jaden Lewis, along with maybe you have some of the Bennecks also mixed in, like Wonderwell. You also have Sonoda, Savage, Green, Double Ear. You have many others that are looking to claw their way through. 40 plus karts are on the track, mind you. Then it goes Perriman down in 31st. You have Ezekiel Height down in 37th. Moskolenko was one of the fastest drivers in warm-up, to come up from 39th here today. And Achilles Berko is the last driver amongst your 42 karts on the property, ready to battle for what is your going to be 4th grouping of drivers for your finals.
For the top 8, it was a titanic battle yesterday in the pre-final. We're expecting the same today for the rest of the field behind them. It's a new day and a new opportunity to join the fight. To see hands in the air to get the start. Green flag is out. Travis Pettit leads him to turn number 1.
Pettit gets the clearance. They stay 2 by 2, many rows back. A few drivers, as expected, go off the racetrack, but everyone else keeps it clean. That includes some of the Bennecks, including Savage, of Savage back there. Front of the field, single filed out through the shark fin. A lot of defending for the MPGs in the mix of it, but everyone else makes the way through scoreboard cleanly.
Ooh, we got a spin there in the back of the field. 2 karts involved, 1 looking to be out of the race, but we're back to the front. Pettit, Murphy, and Samet, as Murphy's gonna try and take the lead. He does. Samet follows. Pettit back to P3.
So Travis Pettit having to push immediately once again to try and find moves. He does have a fair bit of teamwork he can have, though. A lot of BJRs up in the front to stay with him. Get off this race.
So Ryan Perry, Motorsport, Tony Kart against 3 hungry BJR LMs behind him. With Santian and the Hodes driver, Tony Kart. Samet's already going to look to the inside of Murphy. He takes the spot, and the rest of the train is going to follow. They're going to try and hang Murphy around the outside. Berghofer gets him. Santian, Kotelski, and Kidd. I don't know if Kidd doesn't quite get around Murphy. That'll slot him back, Murphy back to the P6 position.
Down they go as a result. Immediately to the attack on Kotelski. Kotelski gets shuffled. That's going to see Murphy moved up and away as a result. Now, all this is to say, as the first couple minutes are burned off the board, everyone's staying relatively close amongst this pack. And right now, there's not a lot of room for error in the midst of these groups. You see that with Fernandez and Gaddis amongst those taking advantage of the MPG to try and make some swaps.
See, all the battling brought Fernandez back in the mix. Fernandez now with Kidd. A little bit of separation there through the battling through Cell Tower. Looking now at the leaders of Samet all the way down to Katowski and Murphy. See, Kidd is still trying to get around Gaddis. Coming into the final sector of the racetrack, Samet leads lap number 2. Top 4 all together, nose to tails. Berghofer takes a peek to the outside of Santian, now to the inside, takes it. The top 3 are now all Brandon Jarskak Racing LN karts with Samet, Pettit, and Berghofer.
And right now you have to think, obviously, Brandon Jarskak's loving what he's seen here, but there's only so long it can stay that way. How do you, as drivers, make sure it tries to stay that way?
Yeah, definitely a lot of racing to go. We asked, Nate Dean asked Brandon Lemke yesterday if it was easier to race in KA Senior or watch the KA Juniors, because these juniors in the KA category, things get mixed up. So often you see Katowski to the inside, gets to the side pod of Berghofer. Now they're going to mix it up for the 4th position, still side by side. Berghofer is going to keep it, but this is good news for the top 3, bad news for the rest of the field.
Also losing a little bit of ground as a result of that ascend to 10. Now they'll all reset for the drafting section down the straightaway. BJR still with 3 karts inside the top 5 here. 3 inside the top 3 specifically. Berghofer getting a little pressure. There's the expected send by Katowski. Bring Murphy back with them.
Nico Katowski gets to the front, taps the back of the helmet and said, let's go. Berghofer is going to ignore that and go to the inside of Murphy now. As you see Santian, Kidd, and that as well as the 827 of Schneegenberg joining the party. As the top 3 still is getting away. 9/10, or yeah, 9/10 was the gap from 3rd to 4th last time by. You see Tristan Murphy now to the inside of Berghofer. Nico Katowski now gets a little bit of a gap. The top 2 of Samet and Pettit are now linked together and starting to build a gap. From Nico Katowski, Tristan Murphy, and Valentino Santian.
Right now, it's looking very good if you're Marco Samet still, though. Keep in mind, Samet gets to get a junior win in Stars, or in the past year, one of those who in 2024 was in the mini Swift side of things, moved up to juniors in 2025. Did get some wins in some CMC Fall Brawl races back in late September of that year, but highest finish of the year has been a top 3 in the Queen City Gambit. Some of his team members, like Berghofer, getting pressurized still and passed on by. That closed the hoax machine of Kidd, but it would be huge to break through, get your first win here today, to try and build upon what was some strong races when you're a youngster and go forward. Right now, Pettit, his new teammate, stays in the wings though, knowing his points implications.
As the action starts to center out a bit, let's go to trackside to Nate Dean, who I believe has a report for us.
Yeah, guys, the KA Juniors roaring past me right now. Watching Travis Pettit all week long and throughout the races, he's been very comfortable in that pusher position. This would have been a little nicer to say a couple laps ago when they were bumper to bumper between Samet and Travis. I was going to say it might be wraps for the rest of the field because Travis is so quick pushing and Marco has been so confident leading this. But right now, as you guys can see, Travis Pettit, that kart is starting to fall off heavy, guys, and Katowski and Murphy are closing in quick.
It's getting interesting as a result of Pettit not able to keep bumper to bumper. Does make a great point, Nate does on how in sync Pettit is immediately with this new team and how he's been able to coordinate with some of those new teammates. But now, some of the others with RPM and TKG are right there within a second and ready to pounce.
An excellent point from Nate there. As you can see the lap times now from Travis Pettit. Did have a personal best on lap 5, the last lap by. But as you can see visually on your screen, Tristan Murphy and Nico Katowski are reeling in the #1 LN kart of Travis Pettit. Marco Samet, however, has appeared to have found some pace and is starting to slowly creep away from the front of the field as the gap is 5/10 last time by, a 10th better in the lap time than second position as Tristan Murphy and Nico Kwiatkowski now take advantage of Travis and have now moved Pettit, the defending champion #1 plate, to the 4th position.
So Pettit will have to go back on offense again. The pace starting to see some fall off by a 10th or 2 compared to Salmon. The reason Murphy and company closed up so much with the draft, they were 4/10 quicker than the leader together. Look how in sync Kwiatkowski is, right just about on the bumper. Not fully synced up, but enough to at least carry the speed heading to the cell tower. That's why Murphy got a purple lap previously, and now is staying within his top power band. They both went into the 112s for the past 3 laps.
Justin, I'm starting to get a little concerned right now for the #1 of Travis Pettit. As you can just see down the straightaways and in the corners, there seems to be something amiss with that #1 machine. It's not very common in the K junior class for a driver to just get overtaken and then get left to the wayside. When you have help, it's not very common for that to just happen, as the 11 now is going to look to the lead. Some battling is definitely going to bring Travis to the mix, but definitely a concern for the #1 machine.
Now Murphy up to the race lead. You're right, I'm noticing that here too. Just not able to get closed up here down some of these straights. Is Pettit. He's got to figure out something fast. Kwiatkowski figures out something, and now it's going to be for second. Samet goes for the lead to third in the span of 2 or 3 braking zones, as Fernandez now set the fastest lap down in 8th.
Yeah, Samet gets shuffled back to 3rd. Nico Kwiatkowski's here right on the back bumper. There's still 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps in this race. Usually when that 2-lap marker comes up is when you're gonna have the urgency to want to fight. But we have a scramble of only 2 teammates here in the top 4, so it's anyone's race right now. And let's see if anyone falls out of line again to see, or maybe this will be the fight to the finish.
I have a feeling it's going to be amongst these 4 with the way things are shaping up. Absolutely. Right now, the pull-up is there when it comes to Samet, looking for a chance to retake a spot. Goes to the inside of Kwiatkowski, makes the move. Up to second it goes, again goes Samet, but has no teammate to work with because Pettit again did not get a good run of I-70. Lost ground after picking up some down the front, and look who's joined in. One of the drivers have put in multiple hot laps yesterday. Kidd again is fast.
Darren Kidd is back into the mix. Marco Samet just seems like he has confidence in his package this weekend, as any opportunity he's gotten to take the lead and get up front. As we see now to the inside of Murphy, he has taken every opportunity to make the passes to get himself back to the front. I think he has confidence right now in his machine to get to the front and stay there.
Rory had 2 different New Star winners. We've seen it at the start of the program for the finals. We've seen it as well when it came to the micros with Sanders. Now, a couple different drivers looking to see can they get their first win of the season at the very minimum. Samet looking back over the shoulder with about 3 minutes to work with on the clock. Anybody willing to swap this time? No. A little bit more patience. If they make another swap here, they might allow Santian, Fernandez, Colton Snegenberg, who's setting fast laps, right back in the conversation instead.
Yeah, right. Could bring them right back into the conversation. Still 2 minutes to go. We're kind of in a holding pattern, but with how close the top 5 is, this is going to be a nail-biting finish if things stay the way it is.
It's going to be pretty close. I don't know if we'll see a drag race like we've seen with some 3 wide yesterday for one of the finishes, but surely we'll see a lot of swapping like this again. Pettit squeezing off a little bit with Murphy forced off the gas. That allowed with Nico Kwiatkowski leading the hole to go through along with Kidd. All 3 of them scoot on by to go 2 to 34 instead.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix-up here. You have to have a bit of empathy here with 4 different teams in the top 5, all the mechanics, all the parents, everybody at home watching on the edge of your seats. With a minute and a half left, anything can happen as Nico Kwiatkowski takes the lead down the inside. Pettit's going to follow. And Pettit now finds himself in that second spot. This is also smart points racing. You have to keep that in mind, as it is Pettit versus Katowski right now at the top, and there is a number 1 plate on that LN kart for a reason. As you find the guy that as he takes the lead, you find the guy you're racing in points and you stick right on his bumper. Wherever you go, I go. That is the mentality for Travis Pettit as he now takes the lead. And Darren Kidd, keep an eye on the Holtz machine, the 869 in that 3rd position.
And it's unpredictable where things are going to go coming out of this one with the way things are shaping up. Mind you, they have very similar drops currently, but that could obviously change. All it would take is a couple spots shuffled again. Salmon up to 3rd meanwhile. Down to under a minute to work with, coming up to 3 laps to go regardless. Now, Katowski looks for the reset. Pettit, after falling to the wayside for a bit, has found some tempo again. Look at the run. Here comes Katowski to the bumper. Did he reach at the wrong time at a 1? Maybe. Didn't get a chance to get overlap. And everybody is on top of the stands. Look at the whole BJR camp, Paulie Massimino and many others amongst it, watching urgently.
Yeah, watching every move. You see now Pettit's going to block to the inside. Now you have to keep an eye here. Marco Samet made that move to the inside to take the 3rd spot on the last lap. I've been saying you don't make those moves. You have enough time to get back to the road, but you don't make those moves unless you're confident in the piece that you have. And I think Marco, if he gets the opportunity, as he sideways in cell tower, still maintains the 3rd spot. I don't think he lost any time off of that, but again, you don't make those moves unless you're confident in the machine that you are driving.
We're coming up to 2 laps to go too. Pettit joined this team. Immediately said, let's get to work. He's very confident in joining a new opportunity. Wanted to show what he can do. Samet now 2nd. Katowski getting swarmed. Holds back the run. Look at Fernandez jumping into 4th. Now it's 3 wide from on behind as Kidd gets attacked. Back and forth go the teammates. Samet looking to try and get his first junior win. Couldn't do it there. They stay in the line under 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go, and now the BGR teammates are 1-2. Marco Samet told Nate this morning, I've never really had a teammate. And this weekend, he gets gifted one in Travis Pettit. And now he's right on the rear bumper of the number 1 machine with 1.5 laps to go at this point as we reach the green corner. Nico Katowski through that final sector in the last lap had a bit of a scrum, and now he's going to have to fight and hope that the teammates battle ahead of him so he can get back into this mix.
We're getting right on it here with 1.5 laps to go. Samet, does he try and assist for Pettit for the team standings / standings overall? Or does Samet try and help out his stake? He's not one of those in the conversation up the front for the KA juniors in the title fight yet. Or does Katowski get a run on both of them over the course of a lap? Murphy now back to 4th. Final time around. They both go to the inside, up at the front. The BJRs try and fight. Samet on the rear end of Pettit. Now Katowski on the rear end of them both. Nobody got a move yet as they go up the shark fin.
Up until the last lap, now the gloves are off. We are defending. Pettit had a better run out of the hairpin. Now headed out of the shark fin. Katowski right on the rear bumper. The whole top 10 is together. Samet goes wide, doesn't defend, trying to get the good run into green corner. It's still anyone's race here. Headed into the double right. Samet going to get right back in the rear bumper of Pettit. Pettit looks behind him. Let's see, does the number 1 go defensive? He does. The 875 into the rear bumper of Pettit. Doesn't lose much time. Inside, outside.
Can Pettit get himself ahead to the checkered, staying in front of the pack? Now Samet looks for a run. Does he take it anywhere? Pettit went defensive. Up to the 90s we go for the final time. Side by side for 3rd. Murphy in the grass. Still slides back and forth for the Katowski. With the BJRs in front. It's a team 1-2. Welcome to a new team. Welcome to victory lane for Travis Pettit.
Excellent race there by Travis Pettit. Credit to Marco Samet for maintaining the BJR 1-2 just didn't quite have it in the end. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed with that, but it was an excellent race by the 875, as well as an bonus Travis Pettit. Nico Katowski maintains P3 in what was a crazy final 2 corners between the 892, the 816, and the 811, which will round out the top 5. Benji Fernandez, P6. Colton Schniegenberg, P7. Santi Orioli, 8th position, manages a top 10 under a new EOS kart this weekend. Alan Berghofer for BJR, P9. Darren Kidd, a disappointing P10, but a top 10 nonetheless. He was in the fight for the win up until the bitter end, but ends up P10.
Out of 11th, Tucker and Drave. We also had Coleman down in 12th. Payne, Holden Myers down in 14th. Some of the other notables in the back half of the top 30. Jackson Alfonse stayed down in the Hartman's Nest. Vitor, who had some speed early in the weekend, down to 20th. Dominic Gaddis fell down to 24th after being in the top 10 at one point. Kelly Saburko wasn't able to cut through. But once again, it's Travis Pettit who gets the job done, but this time in new colors. A Team 1-2 with Marco Samet here today.
Yeah, I got a big.
Travis Pettit will let you get the helmet off.
Quite a bit, but new color this weekend. How much does that mean to get a win with the new team?
I mean, everything. I mean, the team's awesome. Yeah, it was great race. At the end, or in the beginning to the end, I was falling off, but I think it was my tires that didn't come in. But at the end, they came in when they needed to, and yeah.
Who would you like to thank for this?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my family watching back at home, BJR, Brandon especially, and I would like to thank Odenthal Racing Products, and yeah.
Travis Pettit, King of the Castle. Sounds pretty good, no?
Yeah.
All right, congrats to Travis Pettit and Brandon Jarscrack Racing.
So Travis Pettit jumped down. Oh, look at all the ducklings and gooselings. Just enjoying their time in the sun. They're multiplying, if anything. But in all seriousness, though, still a few more races to go before we take a break for the Pro Show, because the Swift Stars are next up on the docket. They've already fired up the engines, and these drivers are ready to showcase their skill sets here and now. So, all the drivers making sure they are ready to fire appropriately after what's been interesting battling over the course of the weekend for them. Swift Stars have a few drivers coming through to the pack, or at least will be some of your drivers to watch, like Dutch Westbrook, Spencer Heighton found speed pre-final, Brody Stoffel amongst those, Marcel Flores amongst those, Bo Stowers amongst those, who will look to join up with, say, the Hudson Howards and companies that have shown some speed in the final few races. Howard, remember, from 19th to 1st was a talking point, Kyle, earlier. The Ducklings are now starting to roll over, by the way. But still, again, your keys to this race.
Yeah, I think you made a great point. And Brody Stoffel, Marcelo Flores, Dutch Westbrook were all drivers who made up significant ground in the pre-final. And we finished the pre-final yesterday by saying there was a longer race today to make it happen. It's going to be interesting to see the geese enjoying a beautiful day at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Use this moment before this race to shout out the camera crew. Jordan here in turn number 1. Haley Donaldson has the final sector. With Sebastian over in Cell Tower, thank you. And then also Will McLeish, Grace Overbeck has our mobile cameras. Big thank you to everyone who makes this possible, as well as the whole production team inside the bus.
Hudson Howard, Slade Harold, top 2, Enzo Ramos, Aiden Go. Forrest Blair, quiet weekend in 5th. Colton Bruck, Heighton, Sears, Stoffel, Stallis, amongst those inside the top 10 for this one. Dutch Westbrook put a circle to that name in 11th. Flores, Stowers, Puglisi, Bassi up to 14th after being the back most of yesterday. Jabari dealt along with Gomez, Dixon, Taylor, and Tavares amongst those here in the field. You also have a lot of other carts. Liam Francisco's a big name down the order, 24th to watch for.
Yeah, Liam Francisco down in 24th. Did not have the end of the day yesterday that he would have wanted, but gonna have to fight from the back. We've seen a lot of big runs, specifically in this class. Yesterday was Hudson Howard coming from the back. Now Hudson will find himself starting in the P1 position. It's even playing field now. New tires, 14 minutes plus 2 laps. See 2 MPG Motorsports machines on the front row, followed by a gaggle of Paralins. It's going to be a great show here for the next 15 minutes. Sit down, enjoy, into the tram lines. A little bit of a quicker start than we've seen. We're going to get it going here. The green flag does come out. Green flag, Hudson Howard into turn number 1.
Howard leads them off into the corner as they go 3 wide at the back and 3 wide a bit at the front for a moment. They all march their way on through with everybody, for the most part.
It's Hudson Howard up at the front, followed by 3 Paralins. They've got a big, it's Hudson Howard up at the front, followed by 3 Paralins. They've got a big incident here at the shark fin. 3 carts involved. 1 cart, Charles Leclerc machine, slowly to get out of there, as Hudson Howard is going to lead lap number 1 over the 141 of Enzo Ramos.
Well, Stowers amongst those involved in that situation, who is one of the better drivers in Apex competition in the Southeast. Now, Westbrook amongst those who leads the second gaggle of carts. They are not wanting to be choo-choo training today, it feels. They are not wanting to be choo-choo training today, it feels like today. It's been a lot more feistier compared to what we've seen, and that's caused a bit of breakups here. Westbrook on his charge so far, able to power his way forward pretty solidly to begin this one.
Yeah, not a lot of choo-choo training happening here from Dutch Westbrook and the rest of the field, trying to make their way back up to the leaders. Again, it is a Paralin top 5, sans Hudson Howard in the P1 position, as you see the 120 of Colton Bruck getting shoved in cell tower as Slate Harrells, or no, the 129 of Brody Stoffel, who came from the back in the pre-final, is now working inside the top 10 to make his way back in the lead group.
They all try and settle themselves out here as we're a couple minutes into the action. Very important to stay in line for a little bit for Harrell's case. But it's going similar to yesterday, where we have an attempt to cause a breakaway. Yesterday it looked like Paralins were all going to do that. That didn't happen. The MPG's all closed up. This time, it's a combination of those 2 teams, Howard and Ramos, that have built up a gap over Aiden Go. Go still yet to press the go button on the document. Westbrook is still flying though. He's still one of your fastest carts on the racetrack, now up another spot to 4th.
Yeah, Westbrook did a 17-2 compared to Forrest Blair's 17-8 that last time, as we see a replay of the incident that just sent the 120 of Colton Bruck. Sent him in up 3 wheels in the air. I think the left front was still on the ground, but either way, impressive to go airborne and not really lose much time at all.
Still in the top 10 after that landing, right behind Puglisi. Now, take a look and finding out what can Westbrook do. It's been a phenomenal time, but Slate Harrell does have the speed from previous run-throughs. We talked about with Charlotte, where it was so successful in Charlotte at Trackhouse in terms of their repertoire. Gonna have to work with the 133 to get there. Now, the attempts are gonna be crucial to at least get to Go, get the draft. It looks like Go kicked up a lot of dirt this time coming up through I-70.
Yeah, a bit of grass kicked up. You'll see just a little bit of putting a wheel in the dirt. No harm, no foul. See Dutch Westbrook's a little bit on the curb there, allows Slate Harrell to get side by side, but disadvantage in the next corner. Will slot back behind Westbrook. This is 4th and 5th right now on the racetrack. And again, the gap between the top two, Hudson Howard and Enzo Ramos, are nose to tail, under a tenth, and then it's 5/10 back, half a second to get to Aiden Go. And then you have about another second to this group that we're following of Dutch Westbrook and Slate Harrell.
A lot of points with the way things have gone here this weekend that are still on the line. Westbrook will still be one of your favorites. But I think Hudson Howard, with the performance he's done this weekend, has kind of joined that conversation here. Absolutely. See some of those loosely connected trains. Howard still giving the thumbs ups in front. Looks like Harrell's saying, enough's enough, we're not making enough ground. Looks like, though, Westbrook wants to try and go for cross-ups. Trying to go deep into the inside for shark fin. Pushes Harrell to the wayside.
As we are battling for the 5th position, Hudson Howard just set purple lap of the race. Extends his lead to a 10th now, which is not with these guys battling in the back in the top 5. In the back of the top 5 don't want.
Yep. At this point, though, gotta wonder in terms of how things go here. Now, a lot of points being left on the table with a lot of drivers this weekend. Consistency has been the bit difficult thing this weekend, it seems, as Go gets hounded this time on through now with some of the pressure. And right now, as some of these drivers stand, obviously you're not thinking championship fully yet, maybe in this age bracket, but it's still to where a lot has happened to set that no one driver has really controlled their destiny. Harrell has fallen down the order with this lap after the initial shuffle on Westbrook. Westbrook is now the one in 3rd spot in front of Stoffel.
Yeah, and you speak of the point standings. Dutch Westbrook currently stands as your points leader by 9 points over Brody Stoffel. So, you know, you have the points battle right here. Unfortunately, with the way the heats went yesterday, you could be in the back of your head thinking this could be a drop, possibly, for Dutch Westbrook. But Hudson Howard, obviously in 3rd position, making the most out of his day. And Brody Stoffel, honestly, with how the pre-final, how the heats went yesterday, and the ground he made up in the pre-final, is making a fantastic run up through the field to find himself within the top 5, be 9 points behind Dutch Westbrook in the standings.
Now, obviously, that being said, that could all change depending on official results and everything along those lines. So it's currently rough projections, but you know what's going on with the weather? It stayed pretty windy today, as we were expecting. Went to about the 70s. It hasn't gone up to as high as it's expected to 76 yet. Track temp, though, is at 94. Remember, by the time we get to the pro show, it should be near 100 degrees today.
Yeah, the track temp has kind of stayed stagnant around the 100 degrees mark all weekend, but obviously being about 6 to 7 degrees cooler right now. It has been a cooler day here at Newcastle, the coolest it's been all weekend, and I think that's what a lot of people were expecting, with the finals being an early morning, midday occurrence where the hottest temperatures really aren't going to be happening until we get to our pro show later.
So under 6 minutes to work with on the racetrack for those tuning in here so far. Howard, Ramos, followed by Westbrook, Stoffel, Go, Harrell, Weezy Bassi, also Throw, Height, Blair, Taylor. All inside your top 10. Nagel down to 11. Francisco's got a good recovery from what could have been rough too for them. Those last 2 names I mentioned, 18 and 12 respectively on the charge.
Big moves happening here from Austin Taylor and Dominic Nagel.
Or Nagel and Francisco.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Liam Francisco plus 12 slots. Where Taylor has also gained 9 spots from the 19th position, but you are right, from 29th, Nagel, and 24th, Francisco. One driver that's found himself, unfortunately, falling down the field is Colton Bruck in the 120. He was fighting for a top 10 earlier in the event. Has now found himself in the 13th spot, down 7 spots from the starting position.
Seeing some of the errors continue to fall down with some of the swaps. Nagel now inside the top 10. We just see the move on Blair. Right now, Blair going the wrong way. Had a phenomenal run. Usually runs club races out in Utah at Utah Motorsports campus, in fact. Middle of the pack includes the gamut. Going to be a big pickup from previous run-throughs. Has also been a winner in Challenge of the Americas when running in some of the opening rounds of that series' campaign's history on the West Coast. That in mind here, with under 4 minutes to work with for a lot of these competitors. Still Howard and Ramos, though, that have stayed in sync up the front to set purple laps. Slade Harrell's tech put the tempo up of note. Last time, they're going even faster. The 1:15.5 is your benchmark right now. So everyone's starting to continuously raise the bar here at the end of the tire life. The average pace is staying for your leaders if you're fast in the 1:15s.
Yes, Slate Harrell just put together into the 1:15s, running in the 5th position. You see on your screen right now, we have the 164, the 197 of Aiden Go behind him, Spencer Height in the 131, all within the top 10. This is the closest battle within the top 10. The top 2, Hudson Howard and Enzo Ramos for the lead, as now become under a 1/10 of a second. And it's Dutch Westbrook 4 seconds behind, followed by the rest of the top 5, Brody Stoffel and Slate Harrell, just ahead of this group. So the 2 packs of 3, and then the top 2 for the lead.
Right now looking steady with Westbrook's attempts to try and chip away, but I think it's hit the plateau within 4 seconds, absolutely. The only hope is if there's an intense fight between these two. And that's easier said than done. Because here's the risk of that. We've talked about, do you try and back them up and try and force a fight? We've seen drivers do it from this distance, but I don't know if you necessarily want to make enemies with what are mostly friends amongst friends racing against each other in a series like this.
Yeah, I think you definitely don't want to fight at the front here to let the rest of the field back in, because it's just a few laps away from making this a bigger fight than it needs to be. The fact that Enzo Ramos has been able to stay in the draft the entire running through the consistent lap times in the 1:15.9s. It was a 1:15.98 to a 1:15.97 last time by. The top 2 between Hudson Howard and Enzo Ramos are just running qualifying laps at this point. As you see Ramos, I believe he just gave Hudson a little tap there, saying, letting him know, hey, I'm still here. I'm still in this fight. And it's just 1 minute to go. That's probably, definitely going to be the 3 to go mark. So next time by, they will get 2 laps to go, and then the fight will be on.
Might be actually a little bit closer on the minutes there based on drive time totals too. We'll keep an eye on it though, obviously, for everybody watching along. We've only had 3 drivers off the racetrack. BB Wild was the most recent. Flores and Anastasio were on the opening lap. Everyone else kept flying around the late stages here in today's Action Stars Championship Series racing presented by Mazda Motorsports here this afternoon. Right now, Howard has led them all. He's led every lap so far today, down to the final 20 seconds or so on the clock, and he has not let a tire off this entire run. Dominating performance for him. Look at some of the drivers coming up in the next race with KA Stars, how they'll close things up in the next moments here. See teammates saying, good luck, I think we've got this. Howard in a spot where he might got this here.
Just at 3 laps to go right there. 5 seconds left on the timer when they reach the line, so that'll be 3 to go. And it's almost like in endurance racing, where in that position you would almost want to tell Hudson, hey, we got X amount of seconds left. Just back off a little bit, but obviously no radios, no real driver to team communication here in karting. And it's going to be 3 laps to go for Hudson and Enzo Ramos.
I mean, there is, you could shout from the fence line and hope they can hear you over the motor.
You could try.
Yeah, there you could. But Westbrook did start trimming away the gap, by the way, the past couple laps. He did get it, along with the help of Slade Harrell, within about 4.5 seconds, about 4.1 the interval between second and third. But right now, it's not enough to get where he needs to be here.
Yeah.
They'll be definitely watching the GoPro footage, if you will, to see what that would show them to what Howard did.
Yeah, for sure. As you see, a little bit of a changing of line there from Enzo and Hudson. I think they're starting to the urgency is ramping up here, if you will, with 2 laps to go. We're already fighting. I don't know if fighting this early with 2 laps to go would let Dutch Westbrook and Slate Harrell back into this fight. I kind of was expecting Enzo Ramos to wait until the final lap. We'll see if Hudson starts going defensive. He definitely feels the pressure from Enzo. He's gotten a few taps already this lap. Headed into the green corner. Still a 4-second gap to third. I think once we reach the white here, it's going to be gloves off, all to play for.
Somebody got a black flag in the back of the field, it looks like there. We just seen a flag pop up towards Cell Tower. It's side by side with the race lead again. Ramos tried the outside, didn't get it to work there. Howard maintains position in control as they zoom on by some of the carts by that Pit X entryway. Howard still getting a small buffer now. Doesn't look like the others have closed up enough to have a chance here for the final time. They're going to need a miracle outside of this top 2. Howard has command. He's been tough to pass. 1 lap to go in Swift Stars. Inside, Howard took a look the other way, and instead Ramos passes on the inside alongside him for the lead. And then pass back for Howard.
Hudson had the advantage there on the outside. Just a note, 2.5 seconds taken off from the back, but it looks like the gap is now spread out a bit to where the battle really won't matter for the rest of the field as Hudson Howard slips away.
Yeah, had the chance to the inside and then almost lifted back early compared to what Howard's seen. And now Howard's got the largest lead he's had all race. This could be difficult to close back late.
It's going to be difficult for Ramos to get back to the 149 machine of Hudson Howard. The 149 takes the final corners through Cell Tower into the final sector.
Kenny Adam to what's been a phenomenal year. Remember, broke through with some wins here in Apex competition. Picked up a win in CKNA Grands a while back here at this facility. He'll get another win in a big way at this racetrack. Out himself a win in Stars. It is Hudson Howard who wins in Swift Stars.
Major excitement from the 149 of Hudson Howard, who grew up at this track, started racing here for what is the start of a young career. Hudson Howard, the winner in Swift Stars.
Westbrook still gets himself a top 3 over Harrell in the race. Bryce Stoffel behind. This continues what has been a sense of pace when it comes to him as of late in that MPG for Jay Howard Driver Development also. Aiden Go at 6, Taylor, Nagel, Height, Francisco does drive up to the top 10. Great drives to the 115 to 114. Then, rest of the order, of course, Blair fell down behind Batista, Puglisi, Massey. You also have Martinez down there in the order. GFR right in front of Chase fixed it. As we look at the rest of the order, Colton Brock fell to 21st in here.
Yeah, not the best day for Colton Brook. Definitely one that he's going to want to forget. You look through the rest of the field, it's going to be Hudson Howard as well with the point standings pre-drop. 2 points over Dutch Westbrook. Still a lot of action to go. The KA Stars are lined up. Let's take a break.
Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart, it's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macromotorsports.net.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
Welcome back, everyone, for more coverage of Stars. It's the KA Stars. Just Prince alongside 18. So look at your starters. Christopher McKeith and Jared Clark in the front. Alton Harrowler, followed by Lloyd and Isenbarn. Morton and Warren, Jones and Rodriguez. Amongst your top 10 here, Nate. Uber competitive front of the pack here this afternoon.
Yeah, incredibly competitive. Top 10. There you can see the rest of the grid. Some standouts there. Sam Tutwiler has had pace throughout this weekend, has been able to convert in a couple of instances. Same too with Landon Boer down in 19th. Was up there and contending for a race win on his GFC, and a couple more drivers. A lot of BJRs here this weekend. Of course, Justin, most of them inside of that top 10. Huge field of KA Stars getting set to get underway.
And don't forget, we had drivers who had to qualify their way in through the B final, the B main, if you will, pre-final. Get the phrasing together. Paramo is the highest of those in 31st over Ward, Mill, Feldsting, along with some of the others like Webster, Baker, Phillips, Massey, Simpson, and McCown got the last spot with everything after race control reviews. So with that in mind, getting set to fire for 14 more minutes of racing. Then we take the lunch break for the Pro Show. That's going to be a fun time when we go racing for our final 3 events of the day. But right now, we're ready to see who gets a KA Stars victory as they burn through the clutch and a lot of smoke kicked up. Who gets a good jump this time? We've seen some wild beginnings of these races as of late. Now, everybody waits with teammates alongside. They all stare. A look, a bobble, a gas pedal. We're back to racing with KA Stars this time.
Christopher McKeithen getting a good jump, a little bit of a wobble, under braking, but that top 5 getting away nice and clean into the shark fin on the first time in anger for these KA Stars. A long main event. Austin Olds already getting the elbows out. Chris Harover dropping down a couple of positions, and now Ryan Moore, one of the MPG drivers, getting by. Same two with Hayden Jones and Alan Isambard.
A lot of them trying to battle it on out and get themselves in prime positions, but the two teammates are able to break away from the pack already as a result of the squabbling. Again, we've seen already some teamwork for BJR in one race. Do we see it again in this one?
I mean, we see teamwork with BJR at every single track we go to. When we were at Trackhouse Motorplex the past couple of weeks for the United States Pro Kart Series and the Miami Grand National Series, they were working together all weekend long, whether it be in the Pro X30 category or KA100 Senior. You can tell just how much Brandon Jarsakrak and the rest of this team drill into their drivers, that you got to work together to build that gap out in front. Obviously, they've done that on this first lap. In the opening lap, Cullen Lloyd already sees that, and he's pointing forward as multiple drivers dropping tires on this opening lap. You can see Hayden Jones getting by Ryan Mort for the 5th spot.
Now Warren able to try and get himself on through also. Some of the drivers break up the respective packs here. Going to be interesting, particularly what we see from Isambard. A drop back immediately to the back end of the top 10 for someone that looks to try and score points. Was coming into this race the projected points leader, mind you, pre-drop at least. Now needs to go back on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You see here Alan Isambard, Harover, Avrutsky, drivers that have shown pace throughout this weekend, but for one reason or another, just haven't been able to put the weekend together thus far. Again, you still have 10 minutes plus 2 laps to go. So much can happen in that time. Drivers could be set up for the long run. Speaking of drivers set up for the long run, think back to the pre-final yesterday. Austin Olds went from the back of the pack and almost won that race. He led for a couple corners, but he got his elbows out, and for him to be able to fight his way through an uber competitive, like you said, field, Justin, he's already to the back end of those front two, and he's going to be splitting up the BJR duos. There's confirmation, fast time, and up to P2 for Austin Olds.
Remember the confidence you were mentioning with him before, with our coverage before. Can he get the luck he's been looking for? Lloyd up to 3rd in the Nash Motorsports Kart. But Olds to the lead. Is today the day? Olds holds back the Gremlins and gets a checkered flag.
Going to be interesting to see if Austin Olds can hold this pace for the rest of this main event. You think of another Kart Republic driver that we're so used to seeing in the United States, Joe Turney. That KR that he runs usually comes in at the tail end of the stints and the main events that we do here in the U.S. So for Austin to fire off so quickly and make his way through the field in such a quick manner is definitely interesting to see from the MPG Kart Republic guys, but obviously the guys and girls underneath that tent know this chassis like the back of their hand. They've been working with it for a long time now, and that's showing with Austin Olds taking the lead as they come across the stripe once again with the help of Jared Clark, Colin Lloyd, Eli Warren, Hayden Jones, your top 5.
Still about 10 minutes to work with at the moment. For now, as Daniel Perez finding some pace in the heart of the pack after a horrific day yesterday with some of the traffic after an even worse qualifying day. He's trying to go on offense. A lot of the others are still staying within range though. Amongst those is Jones. Said himself, hey, we're in a good spot in the points. May as well run the full season. He's done well in this one also to stay connected amongst this train.
Yeah, Lloyd closing in on these two, and Jared Clark saw it to the inside, goes to the number 2 plate and retakes the race lead, and now 4 different drivers from 4 different teams up in that lead pack as things stand. Brand Jarsic Racing, MPG Motorsports, and Nash Motorsports, and of course, Hotes Driver Development at the front of this field. They'll be coming to complete yet another lap. Behind them, Hayden Jones is closing in on these guys with the help of Alan Isambard, and Christopher McKeithen, after a strong start to this race, has fallen back, but it seems like he's finding pace again.
Yeah, right now, ran in the 111.9s, the leaders just in the 8s at the front, Olds to the front. Here it comes Lloyd. Quinn got the fastest lap. He scored at 16th, though. All this is to where Clark now shuffles into P2. Olds again up front. For Austin Olds, you know how rare it's been since he's taken a checker flag? He was one of those nominated a couple years with Rookie of the Year and was one of those in developing in terms of being a part of the MPG side. The last time he got a checker flag per Ricardo DB at least was when he ran a club race at IKC. It's been a while, to say the least, in terms of the overall checker flag for your current leader.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that's right, because he did get a win, Justin, at Rev 66 Sprint Series last year at Norway. So he did do that, but the last time he's won at the national scene, it's been so long, I can't even confirm if he has done it. So that'll be
all squabbled together right behind the back end of Warren in the Hotes Driver Development Machine. And Warren's been solid all weekend, but losing a fair bit of ground this lap, this time gets a little bit wider on exit, but still holds the spot.
See this path that started to open up towards the start of the race, compressing yet again. A longer lasting accordion effect, if you will, with this field, Justin, but be interesting to see next time they come across the stripe. Ian Quinn, of course, resetting fast time last time by. We'll see if he's able to do it again. There you see Rodriguez with a Vrutski bumper to bumper. Cross the stripe, looking for Ian Quinn, does not improve, but he still holds that fast lap. McKeithen trying to get Eli Warren, late on the brakes, goes way wide. Hayden Jones trying to get by as well, unable to. That's a huge setback for McKeithen.
Yeah, big slide down the order again, and McKeithen, who had just picked up spots after blowing back the edge of the top 10 previous, had to do it again. Vrutski amongst those, trying the outside line, doesn't go there. We have about 5-6 minutes on the clock after that squabble. That's broken up the group again and is starting to shrink that lead pack as a result of all the battles named.
Yeah, to add one more point, I think McKeithen saw the move that his teammate Jared Clark made yesterday into I-70, thinking he can make it stick, unable to. Just speaks to the levels of how impressive that move from Jared was yesterday. 5 minutes plus 2 laps remaining in KA Stars, and the only driver in the top 10, well, not anymore, with Bryson Morris making his way into 10th, but for the longest time, the only driver in the top 10 that wasn't on an OTK machine. Austin Olds continuing to lead the way. Jared Clark, interestingly, is working with the 954. Isambard and Lloyd are closing in, however, but if you look towards that front group, Jared Clark, purple, last time across the stripe, half a second between second and third right now, Justin. It could be interesting over these next couple of laps to see what happens, because yes, Austin Olds and Jared Clark are the fastest duo on the track, but Alan Isambard and Colin Lloyd do have that draft and that slipstream inside that half a second window.
They're right now in a crime spot absolutely here, as Clark has your fastest lap, by the way, now 1:11.5 for car number 2. Isambard gained a fair bit now that he's got the whip from that draft here over Lloyd as we go about, or with the help of Lloyd, should rather say. About 4 minutes now on that clock. By the way, Hayden Jones leads the second group at the moment. They're putting their heads down to try and find some tempo. Their last times were off by about half a second last time by. This time through, though, as Olds continues to lead the laps, some chaos at the back as crews scramble.
Jordan Klein, potentially David Baker, that might have been Justin, unable to get an ID. I'm pretty sure the one was Klein, but unable to ID the other kart. Quick little update on Ian Quinn. Up 16 positions thus far. An incredible run from him. 2.8 seconds back. The pace has halted a little bit for Ian Quinn as Hayden Jones, the BJR, in 5th place, resets fast time, a 1:11.444. for Hayden Jones. Again, Justin, a driver we've seen win in Pro 125 competition here on the Kart Chaser platform. Would love to see it for him and the team to be able to do it again in 100cc competition, but right now it's hard to pick against Austin Olds at a track that he knows so well, on a chassis that he's become so accustomed to. Right now, I think of these four, he's really the one that's willing to get his elbows out to hold this race win and try and crown himself king of the castle in his home state.
Down to the final 3 minutes or so in this one. As you can see with the connections right now, McKeithen just got the fastest lap. That entire second group was quicker than the lead group, in fact. This could connect together again. There's that time we're referring to. The leaders were in the 1:11.6s. Isambard, on his average, has stayed in the 4s to 6s from lap 6 to 9. In terms of what they've done, the average, if you take the outlier out, has stayed that way in his respect, keeping up with this group.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been patient. He's been consistent. That's a huge thing for him. Looking back a little bit, Hayden Jones definitely not within that drafting range. Changes up front, though. P2 now going the way of Alan Isambard. So the duo of Austin Olds and Jared Clark that have worked so well thus far throughout this main event has been split up, and this could be interesting, Justin. Definitely will be interesting for sure. Obviously, Austin is given a little bit of breathing room right now, but with how big of the effect that slipstream, that draft is, especially on this run down to I-70, it's only going to be a matter of moments until Isambard's on the rear bumper of the KR, which Austin Olds already going to the needles, adjusting the carburetor ever so slightly to get more pace out of that MPG KR. What is he going to do? Is he going to work with Austin Olds, or is he going to go right by and try and run away with it?
Here we go. Isambard's going to try and dive underneath instead. Now able to jump to the race lead. Down to the final minute and a half or so. Olds to the inside. Near contact. Instead, Clark gets the overlap off the exit of scoreboard. Run their way up towards green corner. Now it's Isambard with Clark as the assistee. And Olds, who led for a majority of this race, a vast majority, is down in the 5th position. Isambard on full defense, coming up close to what may be 3 to go at the line.
I think Austin is going to be a little annoyed there with what happened into scoreboard. I think he might have been crowded just a little bit at the apex. Hayden Jones trying to get by. Colin Lloyd, little bit of a mistake. Should allow Austin Olds to get through into scale corner. We'll see that once they come through here. Austin Olds getting shuffled back even more. What's happening to the MPG KR? He is behind Edgar Rodriguez now, and he's right by Ian Quinn. Welcome to the party, Ian, and Eli Warren. Now Rodriguez trying to get by his teammate of Hayden Jones into 3rd, unable to as they head into I-70. More battling happening in this mid-pack.
We're down to 3 laps to go this time through. The timer still has about 30 seconds on it. Olds still defending, trying to hold back a fierce crowd, and here we go again. Quinn Amonsos with contact, and drivers go over the top. Suspense down to the heart of the racetrack. It's chaos with Alan Carr trying to turn it around.
Bryson Morris out there and almost got collected again by another cart, but back out in front. Time is ticking down. It should be 2 laps to go at the line. Alan Isambard has held steady over the past couple of laps to hold this race lead with Jared Clark and Colin Lloyd, but Austin Olds is still in striking range once these guys start to go at it. Again, like I said, he's one of those drivers that is not afraid to get his elbows out in these wheel-to-wheel combat situations, and you know Alan Isambard is going to defend for his life to try and bring this home for Rocket Racing Company.
Can he do it is the big question with the 2 laps to go. Big pickup of speed. Last time out, Isambard, remember, got the win at Charlotte. Clark looking for the win here in Indy. He goes inside, brings Lloyd with his Nash machine to 2nd. And now it's Clark in command. But that 926 is in good position to attack soon.
Yeah, Colin Lloyd would love to win on debut for Nash Motorsports and bring that home for a team that has welcomed him in and given him success from the word go. As you can see, Austin Olds not making a ton of headway. Neither is the drivers behind. Christopher Keithen has made a comeback. Eli Warren, Avrutsky, Rodriguez, Perez, and Tutwiler, your top 10 as things stand. Through Cell Tower for the penultimate time, and Colin Lloyd decides now's the time to go by. Jared Clark defending from Alan Isambard, tries it around the outside of Cell Tower in the exit as he will stay in second. Does the 2-plate, but for the final time, they will see white flag in just a couple of moments' time here, Justin. The heat races are out of the way. The pre-finals are done. It's time to crown the king of the castle. One more lap, 1 mile to do it.
Final time around for Lloyd. Outside for Clark. We've seen one pass for the lead from the outside, but the braking zone. Can Clark do it again from the outside for the lead?
Oh!
He's off track with Lloyd. They're both in the grass, and Isambard up front.
Heartbreak for Colin Lloyd. He's out. Alan Isambard. It's not done yet for him. Austin Olds is within drafting range. Remember what happened to these two in this corner halfway through the race. Austin Olds is going to remember that. Wait for a dive into Cell Tower if Olds is close enough. Austin Olds trying to catch up to Alan Isambard, trying to go back-to-back in KA competition here in KA Stars. Into Cell Tower. Olds to the inside for the race lead. MPG Motorsports leads.
Now Olds looking to try and defend back. Isambard running out of time to build up chances. They work their way through blue corner. Can Olds hold on and pick up a huge win for his career? They make their way to the 90s, this time through. They circled their way through with Isambard looking on the outside a couple times. Looking for the up and under. Slides the tires. Olds defends. Olds survives. It's Olds to take the win.
Austin Olds in his home state is king of the castle in KA Stars. Did it the hard way. Shirley is going to be out of breath for that one. And Austin Olds gets the win for MPG Motorsports. It's another win after they won it in OKNJ last year with John Antonino. Give it the way of Austin Olds. Alan Isambard by less than a tenth. Christopher McKeithen, how about that, Justin? He was up and down, finishes on the podium. Then it's Eli Warren, Edgar Rodriguez. Shout out to him. We haven't talked to him a lot this weekend. Career best for him. Then Daniel Perez, Sam Mavrutsky, Lucas Szabo, Sam Tutwiler, Braden Zerbs, your provisional top 10.
Clark fell down to 11th with the contact. Ian Quinn as well with the squabbling down to 12th. Sal Maxwell Paluto amongst the 15 inside set top 15. Then you turn the page, and that's where you'll find a lot of others like Downcard, who's spun around the middle of the track down in 21st. A lot of those in the the B main had a hard time cutting through, but look at all the celebratory moments for Olds. This set the door. Look at Clark on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Clark, he pinched him to the apex, but I don't know what to say on that one there, Justin. Now, Jared obviously having to turn in for the corner at some point. Colin Lloyd, I don't know if he was alongside enough for Stars officials to potentially give the number 2 plate a penalty. I think that's a racing incident more than anything. That's up for them to decide, though. But how about this move for Austin Olds? I said it was going to be a late send in the Cell Tower, Justin, and it happened. Race-winning move for MPG.
And I don't think he's going to believe it here. He mentioned such bad luck. There's Paluto saying congratulations. How about that? It's Olds who gets the job done at Newcastle.
Nice job. I just get run off by bridge drivers. Of course.
Check. Austin Olds, first ever senior victory, I believe. How's it feel?
It feels amazing, especially after putting my reeds in upside down after heat 2. Couldn't be any happier right now, so it feels really good.
Talk me through the journey to this point. It's been a long road to get to this point, to get your first senior win. Talk me through it.
Yeah, wasn't planning on racing much this year. Found a couple opportunities and glad we were able to make the most of it. But yeah, the whole MPG BBS package has been on rails all weekend, and we've for sure shown that. So really proud of the guys and what we've been able to accomplish this week.
The battle with Alan Isambard in the last lap, the door kind of opened for you going into turn number 1, and then you made the move in Cell Tower. What was your mindset in the final few corners of defending?
I kind of got ran a little wide halfway through the race and fell back to 4th, and they had a gap up front. I just knew I had to keep my head down, and something would happen, and I get brought back into the mix, and sure enough, I did. And then he left just a lane below in cell tower, and it was just enough for me to get by and then block the way to the win.
Anyone you'd like to thank?
The whole MPG Motorsports crew, BBS Race Engines, Billy Vincent up in Detroit right now. I know he's going to do great in the IndyCar race today. Chase Jones, Elliott Cox, Rico Dobbins, all those guys. So they do a great job, and pretty much the best team on the racetrack right now.
Well, congratulations, Austin. 2026 K-Stars, King of the Castle. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much. And the action's been picking up. Xander Clemens has been on property over the course of this weekend as well. He's been busy all weekend. He's got Trey Sanders catching up with him.
Thank you, Justin. Trey, you've been very patient, but as we go from one crazy last lap to another, talk to me about how you were able to get the job done today in micro.
So corner one, we were all in a pack. They're all blocking down low. I was up high, and then we came to the shark fin, and then Tristan, Liam, Comptelio, and another one, they all got in a collision, and so it was just me, Bill, and Jack. So then Bill and Jack were battling down low. They were fighting, and we came to the last corner, or third to last corner, and then they went high, I went low, and then I went under them. Then I had a big gap.
And of course, you've been a part of a couple of crazy last lap finishes already this year. Sometimes it's gone your way, sometimes it hasn't. Has it sunk in yet with a big smile now with the races done and the emotions starting to calm down?
Yeah.
Now tell me, who would you like to thank?
I would like to thank my team, RPM, my mom, my dad. I would like to thank my supporters, my sponsors, and I would like to thank my data coach, Dalton Haynes, and I would like to thank everyone that supports me.
Well, business is certainly picking up around here. Congratulations again, Trey.
Thank you.
And back over to you, Justin, as we get set here for the Mazda Motorsports Stars Championship Series Pro Show on the other side of a break.
Thank you very much here, Xander. And with that being said, he referred to it there. It is lunch break before we get to the Pro Show. And the Pro Show is going to get interesting with the top competitors looking to secure the top spots in the quest to be the king of the castle. We'll get over to lunch. You're watching Kart Chaser. Hope you enjoy your meal. We're about to have a quick one ourselves.
This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of Kart Chaser Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.